everybody. Thank you for joining in today for my launch party of my two books that I released this year. And I am not alone. I am here with some wonderful friends. I've got Megan McCarthy,
Hello.
my so wonderful. I could not have gotten this gorgeous cover without you. Thank you. Thank you. Charlie.
You're welcome. It was fun. I like making book covers.
And then we've also got Laura, future R.L. Stein, Anne Rice, horror mistress, and my fabulous developmental editor, Jace.
Hello.
Yay, Jace.
Woo.
So, yeah. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. And I don't know what's the plan really for the day except for just having a hangout stream. So.
Do you want an interrogation?
I have a feeling I'm going to get one whether I want it or not.
Because I can come up with some questions.
Hi, CB.
Number one, what is your book about?
Which one?
All of them.
Both of them.
Even the ones you haven't written yet.
Yes.
Well, we'll go in order. This one is Misadventures of a Mom Author. This is also my ongoing Vella project. So I'm halfway through volume 2 up on Vella. And it's basically my journal documenting mom life and writing and juggling everything that's going on. Global plague, all that kind of fun stuff. And then this is my contemporary or urban fantasy, whichever term you want to use, that I've been working on since 2014. Long time. And it's just fun. It's about a girl who goes to spend the summer with her grandmother before starting college and finds out she's a witch, and shenanigans ensue. Even more shenanigans now since Jace helped me with the developmental edits. Because he came up with some ideas.
I am the king of shenanigans.
Yeah.
All hail the shenanigan king.
Now that my window's not open, I'm warm. I'm going to open my window again because the leaf blowing has stopped. Ugh. And it's like 75 outside. It's beautiful.
It's really nice here. We had storms last night that I thought the house was going to blow away. Like, I kept looking for witches, like, trying to steal my dog outside because, it was a fun night. But
Sasha's middle name Toto.
It should be. Because of me being the person that I am and my love for various things, her full name is Sasha Marie Ludgate, because of course it is. And every time she hears that, she looks up at me like, what did I do?
So even dogs know the middle name means business.
Yeah.
Welcome back, CB, and hello.
A pigeon.
A pigeon.
So, Carrie, where did you get your book ideas?
Well, the Misadventures one I just started writing, and then when Vella came along, I was like, okay, I'll get it out there. But I actually came up with the character of Tara in the Witches book, role playing, like doing online in. I'm gonna date myself for any younger viewers. AOL Instant Messenger and Yahoo group forums.
Oh wow!
Started messing around, was doing stuff with my bestie, And that's when I came up with Tara. And we want to talk about the shenanigans that take place. Her Bessie's ex-boyfriend. She was seeing this guy in Michigan, and he would
Woo!
role play with us. Nah. As an Ohioan, I am obligated to say that to go nah, about Michigan.
That's only because Ohio is a cult. We've established this.
So
What? I
anyway,
have evidence. I shared it with you, and you cannot.
yeah, I know. But so he would kind of he would take over the story, basically. Not going to sugarcoat it. He would take over the story. So one day our like something happened and our characters ended up on this like twisted version of Sesame Street, and I was playing Tara, and she had cookies in her backpack, and a giant cookie monster grabs her and tries to pull her head off, trying to get at the cookies. He thought she was a walking cookie jar. And for years after that, Tara had this like traumatic fear of Cookie Monster.
Laura, I really need you to steal that idea. I need to It'll be like the unofficial sequel to the BFG, and I need it. I need it so bad.
Like Glory's dog Cassie always thought toddlers were made of crumbs and jam on the inside.
Just put them together.
Exactly.
Give your Cookie Monster a pet dog.
The incredibly deadly dachshund.
I miss roleplay forums that don't devolve into sheer and utter political arguments or naughty nonsense. Like, that was like a wonderful period of the internet where you could have fun. Like, I feel bad for the kids today because I don't think that there are those places much anymore.
So many nights staying up till 3 a.m, fueled by candy and Mountain Dew. It was great during like school breaks and stuff, because my mom, she still works for the same grocery store, but there are times when she would have to get up at like 2-3 a.m. to go to work. She still does that today. And so if I was going to be online talking to my friend, she's like, well, you're not going to go to bed till like 3, so make sure I get up. Okay.
The good purposing of night owlery.
So how did you create the initial character? Did you like roll for traits or just make it up, or
Just make it up. I didn't know anything about D&D, so rolling for traits wasn't a thing. Like, she and I both didn't, like, we just came up with characters and started coming up with stories. It wasn't until she met her husband, who was into D&D, and he started introducing her, and we're like, oh, this is a bit more work than what we do.
yeah?
Yeah, I remember those, like the RP forums and Gaia Online, stuff like that.
I was on there.
Yep.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be crazy if we all knew each other back then, but we didn't know that we knew each other back then because we were RPing as other people?
That would be
I had an
hilarious.
account on Gaia for all of my characters.
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that just be insane? I love that you are so open about that because several of the characters that appear in my books also came from characters that started in role-playing games that I was playing, and I don't know. I'm happy to see role-playing becoming a pastime that doesn't have as much stigma attached to it as it once did. I mean, as somebody who
Mhm.
grew up through two separate satanic panics, one of which very much involving D&D, that thought that it taught you actual spells. Like, did you read the books? Like, what in the world?
Yeah,
Like,
I follow this channel called Crispy's Tavern, and he does a series of um, D&D horror stories, and he gets all the stories from Reddit. And yeah, he did a couple videos about the satanic panic of D&D, and it's like, and some people even today still buy into it.
I still have my copy of The Devil's Game because it is one of the funniest books I've ever read, and I've always kept it in a lockbox of in case of needing to laugh, break glass, and
Right?
right, that would be so wonderful. But yeah, I role playing is such a good place to develop your creativity and also just basic skills of learning how to do that wonderful improv thing of the yes and, which is so valuable in life to be able to get through, and especially with your stories, to get through to the end, to be able to like, oh well, the character wants to do this, that's not what I had planned, but okay, and then to be able to roll, you know. I often feel like a lot of my books and early drafts are just me role playing as both GM and player.
Yeah, and it helps, like, when you have, it helps you work with other people too. Like what I was
Yep.
saying about my friend's ex who would railroad the story into some weird stuff. And it's like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Well, you always have one of those Michael Scotts. It's like, and then I draw a gun, and I'm like, oh. But yeah, I like that you're bringing that up, just because normalize imagination.
hmm And I took a creative writing class in community college, and I hated it because it wasn't creative writing. It was cater your writing style to what the professor wants.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Our final project, we had to write a 10,000 page or 10,000 page. God, no, 10,000 word short story.
That would be a ridiculous project if it was 10,000 pages. Oh my god.
I was just
1 word a
10,000
page.
10,000 words short story. And we had to do all of these pre-planning worksheets and stuff, and like have an outline and everything to turn in, which I was not used to doing. I was used to pantsing a whole lot. And it showed because I never finished anything.
That is my problem too. That's why I'm
Oh.
now a planner. Like, as much as I am a ridiculous planner,
I'm a-
and
Like
I
in
used to be a
between, but
pantser, but I would never finish anything I started. And
Yeah.
then once I started planning, I'm like, oh, this makes life so much easier. Why didn't I just do this from the beginning?
But yeah, so I came up with this fun story where, like, it was a Halloween story, and it's kind of like that one episode of Buffy where everybody turns into their Halloween costumes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did kind of like my own take on that concept, and I turned in all the pre-work, and she's like, you have to write a real story. I'm like, what are you talking about? None of this fantasy nonsense. I'm like, so, like a historical or a contemporary? Yeah. So I had to completely redo everything.
Oh no.
I'm like,
see that. Okay, so I do not understand the snobbery around genre fiction, because most of the literary classics, Like, let's just take Shakespeare. Like, it's hard to get any of these literary snobs not to think Shakespeare is literature, right? He wrote
There's ghosts and witches and Shakespeare.
there are
And
ghosts and
dirty
witches,
jokes.
dirty jokes. Like, so you've got the fantasy stories, because Midsummer's Night's Dream is a fantasy story.
Mhm.
Macbeth and Hamlet are basically horror stories. Ghosts are sending a guy to deal with his
Paranormal.
uncle. Like that's paranormal as anything, right? It's
Tempest,
almost
there's a sorcerer and a fairy
and a cannibal demon monster. Don't forget Sweet Caliban. But like he wrote genre fiction. Genre fiction has always been a part of literature. Being able to have that expansive imagination lets you tell broader stories. This is why a lot of the great literature that comes out of South America, for example, is so infused with magic realism, because how do you cope with all of the things that you're wanting to say with everything going on by literally having it walk down the streets as ghosts that everyone's just used to seeing, the colonial ghosts controlling everything. It's such a beautiful way to tell a story without having to stop and go, hi, I'm going to tell you a historical lesson about the town that I live in. Right? You can just put it in, make it a living, breathing character. And it's such a great way to do it.
Just as a side note, when you said Sweet Caliban, I heard Mariah Carey singing it to fantasy.
This might be a parody song we have to do. And can I just say, for the record, Mariah, no Mariah. I don't know if you saw that video that she put out where she already made everybody lose the game this year by starting to sing that dang Christmas song, because she's got to keep her trademark. But Mariah, no. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Mariah Carey is the Queen of Christmas TM. Like, she trademarked the phrase. She is the only one allowed to call herself the Queen of Christmas.
So is Michael Bublé the King of Christmas?
Mariah, what are you doing? All I want for Christmas is you, and last Christmas, that's the game. How long can you go after Halloween before you hear these songs?
Oh, I heard it the next day.
Right?
Because I went to, we went shopping at Cost Plus World Market and Home Goods, I think. And both of them were playing Christmas music and had all their Christmas stuff up. And it was the day after Halloween. And I was like,
I know I can't help it when I go places if they play Christmas music now. But I personally will not play it in my car until December 1st.
that's how it should be.
Or
at least the day after Thanksgiving.
I already had Thanksgiving.
Well, Canada doesn't count.
Oh, the American-Canada War has begun.
What do you think we are, North Montana?
Mic dropped.
You see me. Ooh, them's fighting words.
Yeah, I broke tradition and actually needed something peaceful and found a Christmas music playlist on YouTube 2 weeks before Halloween because I needed the peace and I was feeling it.
I was saying just before we went live, my daughter we get into the car and I pull out my phone to pull up Spotify and Halloween? Okay, we'll listen to a couple Halloween songs on the way. It's a 10-minute drive.
CB says, we do not want to repeat it of the whole blame Canada debacle from South Park the movie, do we?
We'll sick our moose and our geese on you.
See, I don't know what the United States or Canada would be if we didn't have each other to be like, oh, but we're not them. Because it's so much a part of our collective joint identities that I don't know what
Maybe
either
that
country
is
would
the states
be
in between the various states, as exampled by me and Jace.
Although I heard there is a candidate in Michigan that is using the fact that Michigan is a quote unquote border state to hype up like border strengthening borders and everything and immigration policies. It's like, we're a border state to Canada. What do you think Canada is doing?
everything. I mean, CB has it right. Like they sent Celine Dion down here to get us. They sent Justin Bieber down here to get us. I'm still a willing servant of Alanis Morissette, which makes me an indentured servant of the Canadians. So,
Isn't Shania Twain from Canada?
yes.
And I believe Ryan Reynolds too, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Like that. See, everybody talks about American hegemony because Canada is just sneaky about it. Like nobody realizes. No. It's actually Canada that's secretly taking over the world. All their celebrities and musicians. Them and the Swedes. I mean, you're not wrong, Pigeon, but then there's that weird concert thing that she did where she tried to do rock music. And, like, I love you, Celine, but stay in your lane. You have a lane, and AC/DC is not it.
Ooh.
Interesting choice, but okay.
My brain, man. I was like, what's the metric version of AC/DC if it's like temperature-wise?
Wouldn't AC/DC be the metric version of AC/DC because they're from Australia?
There you go.
So then what's the non-metric version of AC/DC?
Steel Panther. And if anybody got that joke, you're my people.
See,
I gotta make
AC/DC would be Heater Marvel.
I am now holding my mango plushie and just like saying everything's okay. It's all okay. It's okay.
Everything's all right. Yes, everything's fine.
My brain is weird. I do not understand it.
I see a Roy.
Yeah.
My Dyna OT should be here by the 12th of December.
Ooh,
I got my shipping date yesterday.
nice. Excellent.
And yes, my entire life is a pyramid scheme to get both plushies for me and get plushies made. Just in case anybody doesn't know who and what I am all about.
I want the emotional support demon whenever the click comes out with it.
I want the emotional support demons so bad. And I'm going to buy so many of them because I know Sage can't order through them because they don't ship to South Africa for some reason. So I'm going to have to get one for Sage and probably one for a bunch of people. Emotional support
One
demons.
for me, and one for Anna, and one for Joe, and
It's so cute. I just need to get big enough that Makeship will see me and I can make murder radishes.
We need to make this happen somehow. I
My
need
wife-
the murder radish.
Right? Like my life will be complete. Like this is everything I do in life is just how do I get big enough that Makeshift will make plushies for me? Because I like their plushies. I have quite a few of them. My cat tried to kill one of their plushies and couldn't. So like they're good quality.
Nice.
Which one?
Mango actually. The
Oh,
cat
no.
saw it and was like, I am going to eat you. And I went to the bathroom and I came back and the cat is like literally sitting on top of it doing that back leg kick thing that they do to disembowel prey. And the plushie's just like, bring it. Bring it. Like it doesn't even have like a scratch or a run in it. Like her claws
Nice.
did
Can't destroy
nothing.
this land shark.
You cannot destroy my land shark.
Okay, so I don't watch the click, and I just tried to look up the emotional support demon, and like fifth thing on the Google list after I typed in emotional support was emotional support alligator.
Oh yeah, there's a guy with an
Oh yeah.
support alligator. That's a real thing that happened
Yep.
in real life. Because we're
Real?
totally not living in a simulation that's glitching out.
Has he taken it on an airplane?
He's got like a harness for it. And
Yep.
Takes it for walks, and
Feeds his
he's holding
enemies
it like
to
a
it.
baby.
It swims in the pool with his kids.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching a video of them all playing in the pool, and she just like, and he likes when I flip him upside down and just flip the alligator over on its back. It was the weirdest thing.
Okay.
3 missing fingers later.
Right?
So if you want an American murder log as a pet, I guess you can do it.
Oh. I love all of the new euphemisms that are coming up for critters. Like, I was watching a video the other day. I think it was, I can't remember if it was OT or the click. And, it was the click because it was in, he was doing Teehee. And he was like, oh, look, it's a little danger noodle. And it was one of those southeast, one of those lizards from the southeast that look like snakes, but they've got 2 little arms.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that. And he's like, why is this in things I hate it? I love it.
They're like super cute and they make me feel like I can do anything. Like if I had to drag like a body that was like that long behind me everywhere I went, like I would feel like a champ.
Nope, bro.
Danger noodle, nope rope.
That's my definition for anything reptilian that is rope-like. It's a nope rope.
There's also, what is it, Angry Shoelace?
Yeah.
Angry shoelace, yeah.
Schneck.
Schnick.
Schnick.
No, there's a series of videos, and I was showing Charlie some of these that were just hilarious because this guy just lists off all these animals' names.
Oh my goodness, those were great.
Some people call raccoons trash pandas.
Yes.
I heard a great one for porcupine, but I can't remember what it was. It was like spiky something. I wish I could
I'm
remember.
still mad at my cat for trying to Sonic the Hedgehog my door down in the middle of the night. Like, I am still so upset about this, and I'm wondering, like, I need to find out who decided that Sonic's signature attack needed to be that. Like, did you have a cat, and did your cat try to Sonic the Hedgehog your door down? And you
Spiky
went,
first.
Spiky first.
Like, I like how, housefly is a sky raisin, and
Sky raisin.
a wasp is a sky jalapeno.
Sky
"Muy
spicy.
What was I think it was a video I came across on Facebook, and somebody had baby chameleons, and the one was sitting on his finger and like numbing all of the fruit flies. Like he would
Nice.
just hold it
Oh,
up to the
geez.
wall, and it was just like, "Lump." And he
Me
was maybe
too.
like as big as my finger,
Uh-huh.
and
Aw.
he had the little googly eyes, and it was just like, ah.
Yep.
The worst trip I ever went on was when I got bit by a wood bee and found out I'm allergic to wood bees.
Oh no.
We were in Baltimore. We were walking down the street as happy as could be, and it just like flew like a bullet into my arm and was right into the bend of the elbow. And you know,
Ow.
you kind of swing your arms when you walk, and I squished it a little bit. It bit me, and I had hallucinations for 3 days.
Oh man.
Like I swelled
That's an
up.
allergic reaction.
Oh yeah, I swelled up. I turned blood red. Like I did not know that that was possible. And the doctor was like, "Yeah, this happens. It's rare, but it happens." And I was just like, "You should warn people." I mean, I guess you don't because you don't want people going, "How do I get bit by a wood bee?" Because cheap high. But it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. I was living in one of Laura's stories for 3 days.
Oh no.
I did a Google search for some like those funny names for animals. Penguins are tuxedo chickens.
Tuxedo chicken.
The white tiger, danger zebra.
Dangerous zebra.
Kangaroo, velociraptor.
Velociraptor.
Oh, this one
Oh.
says Tyrannosaurus deer.
They're still raising money. If anybody wants to become part of the Kickstarter, they're kickstarting Velocipaster 2 right
Oh
now.
yeah.
So
It's a
if you
movie.
saw Velocipaster 1 and thought, yeah, there should definitely be more of this. Raising money now.
The naked mole rat is a tunneling ball sack.
Oh man.
Skunk, fart squirrel.
Squirrel.
Oh,
Kill- killer
giant
whales.
porcupine. Giant
Oh.
porcupine. Stab rabbit.
Stab rabbit.
Killer whale is panda whale.
Panda.
Leather tank is a rhino.
All right.
Oh, porcupine is also a spiky forest dog.
Forest dog.
So, Carrie, are there any animals in your books?
In book 3, they get a cat.
Is it a magical cat?
I haven't figured that out yet. I'm redrafting book 2 and 3 to work in all of the changes from book 1.
Mm.
In the insane book that I'm working on, there Santa is currently trying to figure out how to talk Gryla into giving him a horde of yule cats to bring magic dream dust to people around the world. And I was like, why am I me?
Because best.
Like, I feel like Jace will know that we're no longer friends if I'm just like, hey, here's some money. Could you developmentally edit this thing? Because it is destruction to rational mind.
CBS, if there's any for alpacas, and I just saw one. Giraffe sheep.
I couldn't find any. All I could find was like 177 cute and funny names
just
to name
did-
your alpaca.
Snapping turtle is Grumpy McSnapface.
Yeah.
Guinea pigs are furry potatoes.
Bad brain. Bad. Be nice to carry string. Bad brain.
Rabbits are booble snoots.
Isn't that one of the wolves in your Valheim stream?
We have a book to snoot.
And a
Well,
Snoop
we have a boop to snoot and a snoot
And
to
a
boot.
Snoop to Boo.
And eagles are freedom gliders.
As somebody who now has eagles that haunt the skies around them, they are not majestic. Stop making eagles majestic. They make sounds that are not the sounds that they use in movies. They sound like broken doggy squeak toys, and they're just nasty.
Elephant, saber-toothed jungle tuba.
Saber-tooth jungle tuba.
I love that one.
And the image is the elephant from George of the Jungle.
See, this is why I wish I just had disposable income, because I'd want to take all of these euphemisms and just go to Fiverr and hire a bunch of artists to make an artist rendition of things. Because Sabertooth junk, I want to know what. Ooh, where's an AI? I need an AI generator right now.
Oh, I have one. Wait, what kind of AI generator are you looking for? Like a word
I just want to
generator?
see what happens if I type in, what was it, Sabertooth jungle tuba?
Art breeder.
Well, Canva also has an AI now.
I just saw one for bats. Let me scroll up.
Dragon rat. Hippo was a leather submarine.
The all-time cause the elephant, because the leather submarine.
Oh, Laura's gonna know this one. Nightlight nightmare fish.
Anglerfish.
Yes.
Scorpion, crawly desert. Nope.
It was a hot moose.
Okay, so I just opened the AI generator that I have that is for like writing, and I typed in Sabertooth jungle tuba, and it came up with Sabertooth jungle tuba is a cross between a tuba and a saber-toothed tiger. It is a very rare and elusive creature that is said to inhabit the dense jungles of South America. So
A lobster is a dragon shrimp.
dragon shrimp.
a baby zebra is a prison pony.
But there are no teeth.
Piranhas are river scissors. An armadillo, der Panzerschlossen.
Do you have any for electric eel?
I haven't seen eels yet. Oh, electric nope rope.
Electric nope rope.
Turtle is a shell puppy.
Oh, that is pure nightmare fuel. Hey, Laura, I just generated a monster for you.
Share it!
Share.
So, if you didn't know, Canva now has an AI generator in it.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, Tom found it the other day, and it's actually pretty good. In that it often actually gives you what you ask for in some way, except for when it doesn't.
Mhm.
And it didn't. It really didn't.
Share.
Like-
The anticipation is killing me.
The
Patient.
Why isn't it showing the tab? Oh, why are you like this?
I ask myself that all the time.
I'm looking at a beehive with a whole bunch of bees on it, and it just says honey bunches of nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to share my whole screen.
I saw that and then I had to close the tab. I was like, I gotta get out of this search.
StreamYard not letting me share individual tabs.
That's weird.
That's called
So
lamb
I'm going to
sauce.
share my entire screen and flip over to it. And when you see the Canvas screen, you can put it up. There you go. It's like the evil jazz musician is coming to get you. I love how it's growing out of him and it's just tubes. Like they forgot the horn. Like there's no saber tooth. It won't put saber tooth teeth on any of them. On any of them, or you could just have that thing floating around. Yeah,
Jungle tuba.
that's what it came up
Jungle
with for
tuba.
saber tooth jungle tuba. What the hell?
So is
So I-
Canva trying to compete with Artbreeder doing that? The
What's
generated.
that other program though?
So
Art breeder?
No, there's another one that you type in stuff and it makes a
So
picture.
Dolly to
Dolly.
the two
Oh,
major,
yeah.
the two major ones that are out there are Dolly 2 and Stable Diffusion, and Artbreeder is built off of Stable Diffusion. The easiest way to tell is all of the imagery that you get back, does it look like stock photo, like something from a stock photo site? If it does, then it was made with Dolly, because Dolly was trained off of images from Getty Images and just create stock photos.
Oh.
They have that very like, oh, this came from a stock photo site vibe to all of the pictures that it makes. Whereas Stable Diffusion was trained off of the internet, and if you download it, you can put your own training sets in, which is what Artbreeder has done, and I think, and Stable Diffusion is also open source.
Mm.
So I believe that's what both Canva and Artbreeder are using, but I know that's what Artbreeder is using.
And if you're looking for an AI generator that is text-based, Lex is a good one. You just have to sign up and then you get access to it. They're rolling it out. But it's very easy to use. Like all you do if you want to like add AI generated text to whatever you're typing is do +++, and poof, stuff appears.
And if you really want to have a good laugh today, Zoe B's latest video is an AI generated script where she fed all of her scripts into an AI generator and it pooped out a script for her to read. And she performs it with such sincerity. The utter nonsense that computer came up with for her to say. It's beautiful. My favorite part is at the very end where oh no, that was Neil's video, because Neil did that also. And at the end of their video, it just devolved into YouTube nonsense. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like. And he's like puts up the actual script page because it was it that's how it wrote it. So he turned it into a song because he felt that was just the way it should be. But Zoe B's video is hilarious because it's all about how, Shakespeare teaches us that we need to have more imagination about elephants. And yeah, I got that from Shakespeare when I read him.
Stop it.
It also writes a weird poem in the middle of it because she often includes poems in her videos. It's so good. I laughed so hard. I will probably be watching it several times. Could you put a link to Lex in the private chat? Because when I searched, I found a lot of things that are not that.
Yeah, let me.
I'm curious to play with that. That sounds like fun.
It's just lex.page.
Okay. I figure it can't come up with any weirder nonsense than what I've.
Or maybe that's just let me go to the home page. Oh, that is the home page.
Yep. Unlock your best writing.
Oh, is that what that's doing?
Oh, I have 5 invites. Let me copy an invite link and I'll send it to you.
Ooh, thank you.
So now I have 4 invites.
Oh, that's what the site was called. You were talking about that artificial stuff, and I was like, what was that site we were using? It was called These Lyrics Do Not Exist.
Oh,
I love
Oh,
often makes very naughty, raunchy songs like that dang hippo song that we made.
that fight.
that,
I still have
like,
that saved to my computer.
that got dirty real fast, and I don't know why.
We had that one line about cheese, and I can't remember what it was.
I'm not gonna say it for Carrie's sake, because I don't know that she wants cussing.
cussing is fine.
Because I know that one song had
We'll
the
know if my
repeated
mom's
phrase.
watching if I get a text message.
Because that one song just for some reason just randomly kept adding in the phrase "I want fucking cheese"
Yes.
just out of nowhere. Like the song was not about cheese. Like that wasn't the seed term at all. It was just like, I love you. I want to hold you in my arms. You're the greatest. You're the ooh baby. I want fucking cheese. What?
Okay, there's a song by the K-pop group EXO, like EXO, and yeah, the first two lines are, "I got a feeling all at once in one bite. I will put you in my mouth like cheese." It's like, okay.
I have a feeling I'm going to be doing this a lot today. Opening the window and then leaf blowing and having to close the window. But it gets hot in here and my light does a weird thing when the fan's on.
Oh yeah, one last animal that I saw was the peacock, which is disco chicken.
Disco chicken.
Nice.
Growing up in California, where I grew up, they used to have wild peacocks that would just roam around, and they were so loud and a nuisance, kind of. But everyone loves them because they're cute. But they definitely cause problems. The city that my mom works in actually has a rule, like you can't hit like a peacock with your car, or you get like in serious trouble because they have so many of them. Like apparently someone just let their peacocks go after they had brought them down and had them as pets, and then they just let them go and they proliferated, and now there's a ton of them.
All right. I did another search just to see on the thing. A seahorse is legless psychedelic water galloper.
Okay.
Let me see. A camel is a hot moose. A rattlesnake, audible nope rope. There's some kind of fossil and it's Daddy McLongtime. Oh, there's a puppy giving the sad eyes, and you sad eyes, Vaughn, give me food. Jellyfish is a stingy sea condom.
Oh, that's so
The
wrong.
mountain goat, wizard cow.
Wizard cow.
The manta ray is the sea pancake.
There's another one for a bat. Majestic flying flap flap.
Majestic flying flap flap.
The fox is a forest corgi.
Forest corgi.
I can write a copyright free
Aw.
Batman comic that's the majestic flying flap man.
Majestic flying flap.
A manatee is a floaty potato.
Oh.
Octopus is a duck puppy.
Why does Duck Puppy sound like something that would exist in my epic fantasy world?
And I think we've all known that ferrets are cat snakes.
Yes.
I always wanted a ferret as a kid. Like, I thought that would be the coolest pet to have.
They're stinky.
I don't know why,
They're
but
bite.
yeah, that's probably why my mom was like, no.
A sloth, slow motion gorilla.
Slow-mo gorilla.
Okay, so we have to figure out a
Getting off.
our knockoff name for Grodd, but so what was it? Flappy flap. What was it? Majestic flying flap man versus slow motion gorilla. Fill in the blank. We have the plot of a really bad knockoff superhero story.
You say flat, flat.
I don't
and think
know about the
of
vicious part.
Manta Ray.
Well, at least not in any ferrets that I've ever
Yeah.
interacted
That's
with.
that's a sea pancake.
Excusez-moi.
But yes, I know they are very stinky. Bestie's husband had them for a while, and if you slack just a little bit cleaning their cages and bathing them,
Hmm.
your whole house will stink.
Hmm.
Or at least that you'll like walk into that room and go, oof. Because for a while they had their own room in the apartment they were in for a bit.
Mm.
Not for the bouncing ferret.
It's not a student. Technically, it's a ferret.
Which is technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yeah, it was.
I have decided that because of my wrath at her, I am going to have to create my own knockoff Mad Eye Moody because I need Mad Eye Moody in my life. So be warned, I don't know which story the character's going to appear in. But I do have a knockoff Agra in one of my books, so a knockoff
Nice.
Mad Eye Moody would not go amiss.
Oh, speaking of knockoff of that franchise, I found a 4-pack of bottles of butterscotch beer. Every single thing on the packaging for it is a ripoff of Hogsmeade and Harry Potter. And so I bought it because if you're ripping that woman off, I support you.
Yeah. A little bit.
And it's really good. It's butterscotch cream soda. It's delicious.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
That may be the dirtiest thing I've ever heard you say on a stream.
Butterscotch cream soda.
Mm. Don't let my husband find out you're talking to me like that.
I learned that it's a bad idea to take cream soda to the beach for a picnic, unless it's in a resealable bottle. Cans, no, because there's honey in it, and bees will descend on your picnic.
Yeah.
So yeah, open 12-ounce cans. No, it's got to be a resealable bottle.
Charlie, CB wants Liam Neeson to play your Mad Eye Moody knockoff.
I can see that. I really can. I was surprised that he came back to voice Qui-Gon Jinn in Tales of the Jedi. I was happy to hear his voice, but I was surprised because I didn't know he was going to be there. Though he does play probably my favorite cranky Force Ghost in all of Star Wars. Because the only thing that they messed up in the line is he just should have started with "took you long enough." Like, I mean, he has the tone and like the demeanor of that, but you know, I kind of need to hear Liam Neeson in that gorgeous Liam Neeson voice go "took you long enough," just because it made me happy.
I can hear it in my head.
Yeah, can't you? Because I can't even pretend to do a fake Liam Neeson. Like, that is so far outside my ability to even pretend. But, I have a special
I know
set of
if I
skills.
ever
I'm
did,
sitting here
like,
waiting for you. Not one of
audiobooks.
them.
If I ever did audiobooks, or what I would love to do is an audio drama adaptation of my books. Because there's a character
Same.
you meet in book 4 that I see John Barrowman, and I'm like, if I could somehow hire him to voice act.
John
that character-
Barrowman does a lot of voice work, and it may not be as hard as you think.
It's true. He is getting older and more difficult to cast in things because
I have
people
to-
don't make older characters now.
I have to say, I will forever be grateful to John Barrowman to teach me that I can still squeal like a 13-year-old girl seeing the Beatles for the first time on the Ed Sullivan Show for like 2 hours straight. I forgot I had like problems. I stood through his entire talk because they wouldn't get out of the handicap section so I could sit down, and there were no other seats in the auditorium. And I just stood there in rapt attention, listening. And my husband would not let me within a 15-foot radius of him. I don't know what he thought I would do. He's probably right, but I don't know what he thought would happen.
If I want to write a story that would be in the right genre for Will Wheaton to read it, because I love his reading voice that he does. It's fantastic. So I need to write something that's like in the kind of genre that he would read, because I
Whichever
don't
way
think he does contemporary fiction.
Whichever way I go with, like, whenever I decide to do an audio version, I need somebody good with accents, because Tara's grandmother is Scottish. I cannot do a Scottish accent.
John Barrowman can.
Yes, and he does drag so well. I love his lady voice. His lady voice is so funny. I love it so much.
Because John Barrowman is Scottish.
I know.
See,
I've
he
seen
says
his-
if I wrote a publishable book, it would have Robert Downey Jr. narrate it.
That would be fun.
That would be a fun read.
I've heard John Barrowman's interview about how he got made fun of when his family moved to the States for his accent, and how when he's around his family he can switch back and forth, and it freaks his husband out. He calls it his alter ego.
There's this couple on Instagram that I watch, and they're both from like some Scandinavian country, but they speak different dialects. And then so one of them is like, it sounds so happy and cheery, and the other one just sounds like angry yelling all the time, even when she's saying like, "Oh, I love you, Mom, and it's nice to see you again." And it's hilarious because they do these bits like, how do you say, such and such in your language? And, it'll be like happy and then angry. And it cracks me up so much.
So if I actually win the Powerball, I'm definitely going to hire Rosamund Pike to read my epic fantasy books because one, if you've not listened to her narrate an audiobook, she is fantastic. And she she did a re-recording of the first Wheel of Time book for this TV series. And hearing her describe magic is magic. And also her gruff man voices are some of the greatest things in the world and give me life.
CV says, or Sting.
Hmm.
I don't know. If I won a lot of money, I still would probably go. My first choice for narrator for like anything would probably be Dahlia
Mm.
because her voice is butter.
Hmm. See, I don't want to look up the rates for it, but I really want Red from Overly Sarcastic Productions to do the audiobook for my House of Blood and Fire series because her online persona is basically Rye in the book. Like, it would sound like an OSP video, but my story. And yes, I want this.
You would
And I
have
know
to have subtitles because she talks so freaking fast.
And I know she does voiceover work, but I don't want to find out how much it is because if it feels feasible at all, like I'll stop eating to raise money.
My other like dream casting, if I did an audio drama, for the one antagonist, actually for both of them, let's get real, I would get Juliet Landau and James Marsters because those two are so heavily inspired by Spike and Drew.
Let's be honest, dream voice casting. Okay, for this weird Santa book that I'm writing, it's got to be David Tennant. Don't you want to hear David Tennant telling you all of the hot goss about Santa and his ex-husbands? Like, don't you just need this?
Yes.
So
And
if I... Oh, continue.
And my only note would be like up the accent. Like just be yourself, but way too much of yourself. Like be yourself on Graham Norton. Like who you are on Graham Norton, but read this book. Go.
I know she doesn't do reading, like, I can't, what is the term? I just forgot it.
Voice
Narration.
acting.
Not voice acting, because she does voice acting, but she doesn't do the reading audiobooks. But I would love to get, like, to write something and have OTEP
Oh,
do the story for it, because that would be fantastic. I'd have to write something really gritty and dark, but it would be perfect.
it would be
And
so good.
that would just
Dark,
be
you say?
Yes, it would have to be nice, dark, and gritty.
So are you saying that you and I are going to work on a like death metal novel collab to make this happen somehow?
That would, we might have to do that just to be like, hey OTEP, I know you don't really do this, but can you do this anyways? We'll pay you.
No, I think instead of David Tennant, Charlie's needs to be narrated by Sam Jackson.
Oh no, if Sam Jackson's going to narrate any of my books, it's going to be The Chain because I want him talking about all the pretty, pretty drag queens. Like, hearing that in Samuel L. Jackson's voice would just be so much fun. Oh my goodness.
Because his rendition of Go the Fuck to Sleep is
So good.
I've heard that one.
I've missed that one, surprisingly. I'm gonna have to go look it up.
It's because on
Oh,
YouTube.
it's so well done because even reading it to yourself, you can hear his voice. So hearing his voice on top of it is just like, oh, that's the perfect reader for this book.
Oh, it is on here. Cool. I'm gonna have to save this for later.
I need to go get a massage again. My back is like, let's be as tight as possible and make you not want to be able to move your ribs.
Oh no.
My back
I would
tightens up when I lay
kill
down
for
at night,
massage.
like, because I've been trying to read more or do something, getting back into my at least half an hour without a screen in front of my face.
Mhm.
So like I'll read, I'll journal or whatever, but I initially lay down and I'm on my pillow and I have everything in front of me, and all of a sudden, like, and I tense up, and
Oh
I'm sitting
no.
there and I can't, like, it like takes your breath away. And Joe will come in like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yep, just waiting for a back spasm to pass. It's fine."
Oh,
So I can't say this out loud, so I'm going to do the demon thing to do live and put something in the private chat that I really want to say out loud because I'm so, I don't know, it's kind of
oh,
off topic. And yeah,
that would be amazing.
yeah, right?
I need to like visit so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been teasing us and sending pictures of the three of them hanging out.
I would die.
So,
I would
yeah.
just die. Hopefully I get this job thing because I'm going to need to buy a plane ticket.
Yeah, my life has turned into a surrealist painting, and I don't know what to do about it. Oh, can you imagine Haley Atwell doing an audio drama? That would be so good.
Stevie has written 0 words today. Wow.
I
You've
wrote a
been
little
writing a
bit.
lot though.
I wrote 262 this morning so far.
I haven't written anything today or
I
in
wrote
a
some new
long
words
time.
and then I copied and pasted from an old draft that I'm still including as words.
You cheated?
It's called editing.
I have a medical reason.
Oh, I thought you were just going to backhand her.
Dang it, I was getting all of my yes mommies ready. I'm sorry. I'll mute myself. What? I can't reserve all of this just for Joe. You need to get some too, you know. Like, yeah, I wrote a little bit this morning while I was watching Jenny's stream, and this chapter I want to actually spend time on because all of the X's are going to be in the same
Yeah,
room.
there you go. NaNoWriMo.
And honestly, I don't care if I win NaNoWriMo this year. I just want to tell this stupid, dumb story.
So, I'm writing my vampire story, and I'm like, this would be a fun time to bring in this fun ability. Let's do that. Should I thread it through back to the beginning? Nah.
As a developmental editor, I have to say, bad.
I know.
Well,
Like,
it's
it
fun.
wouldn't have come up yet. But like,
Since I keep comparing your vampire erotica to Miss Rice, she did not tell us that like Lestat could fly and other things until much later in the books because it was a secret. He didn't want people to know he was that special. So
I was, after we got off your stream last night, Charlie, I was watching Sako's channel and she had a Vela Writers write-in.
I saw that.
And we were talking about our projects, and a lot of people were saying how their projects aren't like um super polished and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, the fantasy adventure that I have up there, I did like a little bit of self-editing, but it has been purely for fun, especially now that I'm trying to get Bestie involved in writing it with me, the future stories. And I'm like, it's silly. It's a little tropey. If I want to have somebody randomly decide to turn into a dragon, that's gonna happen.
Look, I read some of the top Vela stories just for research because they weren't really stories I was all that interested in. And the thing that I took away from that experience is I try too hard for Vela. Like the top stories, I'm at least spell checking mine. Like I'm at least going through with this because I'm putting this nano project directly up there, but I'm at least running it through a spell checker and doing
Yeah.
a read through to make sure that I get some of the stuff out. Like it's not a full edit, but
I at least do that and like add a few details here and there or whatever. Because
and for those of you across the
chronic
pond who don't have
underwriter.
access to Vela, it makes like the stuff on fanfiction.net look well written. Like a lot of the like really popular stuff. It is not like the spelling is not there. Stuff
There was some
randomly
good
happens.
stuff on fanfiction.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is like a lot of that's just written right onto the page and hit post. And that's what a lot of Vela is, especially the top stuff. Like people are just ravenously reading over there the stuff that they like. So like I just realized I'm trying too hard. Like I was making sure I had completely finished stories and scheduling them and doing polishes and edits and made poor Rose City have to read that weird fantasy book. And like for Vela, that maybe I don't need to put that level of effort in.
But I feel like if you're gonna take it from Vela and publish it as like a paperback,
Oh yeah,
editing has to happen somewhere. So like
Yeah, that's what a lot of other people were
post Vela,
saying.
just somewhere.
Like right now, it's just like for fun, and then yeah, if Bestie and I decide to do something beyond serialized, yeah, we'll get it edited and polished more, and because I think it would be so much fun to do like conventions with her.
but yeah, it's shocking when you go over there and click into some of the best, the top stories in there and start reading like the free chapters, and it's just like, wow, okay.
Hi, Jenna.
Hey, Jenna.
And doing our best to behave. I have failed. Jace has actually been on very good behavior. I have not.
And again, if I had a problem with it, I wouldn't have invited you on screen.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, Carrie is the same as like Cat and stuff. You think that people are like super pure and everything, but the fact that they are inviting us means that they don't have a problem with it because people know how we are.
Carrie watches The Click, so like I know, like I know there's a darkness underneath all that. Like she gets half of my furry jokes that people shouldn't get. So like, and I'm gonna live in this blissful ignorance that it's because you watch The Click and not because you also know what happens on the darker sides of the internet. But I have to live in hope. Somebody out there has to be the good one.
I don't think that person runs in our circles.
My best friend waited 10 years to throw me a bachelorette party so she could see how red I could turn.
Approved.
And even then, she held back a little bit. Because when she went to the store to get our accessories for the evening, she got me this giant necklace, and it was a plastic ring supposed to look like a giant diamond ring. And I'm so thankful that she picked that and not the body part, because Anna likes to play with that necklace.
Speaking of fabulous necklaces, so in my attempt to get rid of the darkness yesterday, I just binge watched a lot of Kaylin Conrad's videos because I like watching them yell at things so I don't have to. And in one of the videos, they were wearing this crown of thorns necklace that was to die for. I want it so bad. Like, I just wanted to like message them on social media, like, where did you get this necklace, Bish? Where'd you get it?
Was it
I
like
need-
a crown of thorns on a chain or
No,
a
like
full
the necklace
crown?
itself was the crown of thorns.
Nice.
And it was gorgeous and beautiful and dangerous. And oh god, I need
Sounds painful.
I was just gonna say,
it. It was
like,
really
you
well
move
made.
wrong,
So
it
like,
pinches you.
if jewelry isn't dangerous, why do you wear it? I really. Maybe I'm just from a completely different class of people. I don't know. But, you know, there's got to be a little something to give excitement to your life. Like, this necklace could decapitate me if I fall down. Yay! But oh, I want that necklace so bad. And that's how I kill conversations dead.
It's like
I'm about
wearing
to
a
sneeze,
dog's
so
choke
I'm just
chain.
waiting. I think it's gone.
It's like wearing a dog's choke chain as a choker.
Memories. Okay, so like the most embarrassing thing for me in reading Laura's book is how relatable a lot of the text is. And so just to share my embarrassment, like I'm commenting all of that relatability into the text. Just cause. Like, oh, I've definitely been to this club. It was in DC. It was utterly terrible, and it's a dinner theater now. That one's a dinner theater now because all of the dirty gay bars are dinner theaters now. Straight people are eating there, and it's disgusting.
Disgusting.
It was one of his.
I have heard that, CB.
What?
If you look at a light, it can bring on a sneeze. Carrie should be sneezing.
Carrie is just letting
I've got
her
all the
inner,
light in my face right now.
she's just letting all of her inner soul glow out, and it's fine.
She's
like,
being
"No, I am
raptured.
pure, Jace. I am pure. Behold my light. Oh! I can glow like Galadriel when she's afraid she's going to get a ring. Like, girl. Sorry. I really should have slept last night.
Aw. Also,
Welcome
if
to
you
my
feel like you're going to
delirium.
sneeze and somebody says bless you, it goes away.
Yes, I do that
And
to
I
people
hate
all
it.
the time. I'm pure evil.
I had a friend from Korea that I still do not believe this story for a minute, but he swore it was true that he had never sneezed till they moved here. And he was so into sneezing. He thought sneezing was like the greatest thing in the world. And I remembered, oh yeah, I remember when he found out that pepper can make you sneeze. And oh my, that boy was addicted to pepper.
Okay?
That's actually an old British folk belief. That's why one of the reasons you wear neckties. The two reasons you wear neckties is traditionally so when you sneeze, your soul can't escape your body, and also it keeps your throat closed so demons can't crawl in. Which is why I like to call all the people I see in neckties superstitious fools.
So all of the boys I went to high school with because ties were a requirement.
Yep.
Uniform.
That's why I don't wear a necktie, because I always want the demons down my throat.
Mm-hmm.
There
So what's
we
that
are.
happening in your story, Laura? So I feel like what we really need to schedule just to welcome Laura into the club, we need to do a stream that's Jace, me, and Chloe and Laura. And like, hello, welcome to the Naughties Club. We have so much to teach you. Because if you've not read any of Chloe's books, they are fabulous and wrong.
I've just read a little of what's been on screen as she writes for Twitch.
Oh.
So she has it Vaselined, basically, a nice Gaussian blur, so that you can still read it if you want to. But
Yeah, I've caught a few of her Twitch streams, and she's like, and yeah, she has like the filter over it, and she also says, dirty content, basically.
I don't think dirty is an appropriate word for what Chloe writes. Like, I aspire to the spectacular filth that she puts on stage.
welcome back.
Thank you. The dogs have been taken out and they've went potty, so they are content for at least a little while until dinner.
The dogs have been taken out.
Content.
For some reason, it's probably just because I'm an elder gay. I just hear Cher in the back of my head. Bang, bang. The dogs went out. Bang, bang. Like, I don't know. I'm all the problem.
So is the 2 months that separate us birthday-wise enough to make me one of the younger gays? Because when you said bang, bang, I went straight to Jessie J and Ariana Grande.
Yeah, apparently. Like, that's the
cutoff.
That's the cutoff line. Like, I'm all about the elders where we have our Barbara Streisands. Like, I grew up on Yentl and Funny Girl and all of that, just glorious nonsense. I was the young queer kid singing "Send in the Clowns" unironically because I didn't know better.
CB says, according to Irish dance lore, dancing was outlawed in Ireland, so what people did was split the barn door in two, and when the priest came by, they'd look like they were standing there doing nothing.
You know, that sounds like something my people would do. It's all party downstairs. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend I'm not here for a little bit.
See myself out.
So Riverdance is the mullet of dancing.
The mullet of dancing.
I feel like that's a good way to describe all of Irish culture. Yes.
Meanwhile, behind the closed part of the barn door, their feet were going like the clappers. The fact was on a Riverdance documentary, and apparently that's why Irish dancers don't move from their waist up.
I've seen that.
Ireland, it's all dancing and cabbages.
Potatoes.
So my weird potato curse has one strange loophole in it. If I'm making a brighty stew, I can cook potatoes. It's the only time I can actually cook potatoes is if I'm making a brighty stew. So
You can't cook them otherwise?
I once on several, I say once, it was on several occasions because Brian was convinced we had bought bad potatoes. Like he was convinced that it wasn't me that had the problem with cooking the potatoes. We just somehow found stones that looked like potatoes. But He was like, it's the simplest thing in the world. You're going to make mashed potatoes. You just cut them up. We're going to boil them. They're going to get soft. We mush them up. Haha, easy. No, we boiled and boiled and boiled. And we checked them like every 20 minutes. And they were still rock hard. I cannot cook potatoes unless I'm making a Brady stew. I have learned this. It's the only way that they would actually get soft in the water. I was very, very happy when I found out that my family immigrated long before the famine, because I thought we might have caused the blight.
My family left during the potato famine. They were like, we're getting out of here. And they came to America. All the way, they went through Ellis Island, I'm pretty sure. Or close to it. I knew it was like in New York, and then they ended up somehow in like, where did they go? Was it Rhode Island or one of those states that starts with an M? I can't think of no, what?
Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. That's the one I was looking for. My brain was not
Maryland,
picking up on.
Massachusetts, Maine.
Massachusetts.
There's 3 of them.
Maine isn't a state. It's just a place that we allow to
Montana.
pretend exists.
My great aunt lives in Maine, or I don't know if she's still alive, so she was pretty old.
Maine is
When I
just the
last
land past
remember.
the end of the world.
Yes.
Where all the Stephen King
Hmm.
resides.
Which is why I don't believe that it exists. I think it's all just been a very elaborate ploy of Stephen King to make us believe that it's there.
If anyone has that power,
I just love sassy Stephen King online. Like, I'm hoping Twitter doesn't die because I need my sassy Stephen King. Like, I'm not a big fan of his books for so many reasons, but oh my goodness, sassy online Stephen King is life.
I've been enjoying his reactions to everything Musk going on Twitter.
You know, he actually forced
$20 for the
Yeah,
check
that
mark.
actually
I'm calling
worked.
like Enron.
That actually worked. They changed their plans. It's not going to be $8 because Stephen King didn't clap back. Like, Stephen, you should have clapped back. They changed it from $20. It's actually going to be $8 to get your blue check mark now.
Still not worth it, but
Stephen,
Yeah.
why didn't you clap back? Maybe we could have gotten more. What a world I'm living in where I'm like, save one of my favorite online websites, Stephen King. Yeah.
well,
right.
him and Hank Green.
Oh, God. Hank Green is on fire right now.
I've been seeing he's managed to permeate my little bubble that I have created for myself. Like, I've started seeing lots of posts from him now, and I'm just like, this is unusual. This feels a lot like the mid 2000s to me. Seeing him all over everywhere I go on social media now.
Of the two Green brothers, Hank is the one to follow because, one, if you're not following Hank's personal channel on YouTube, every now and then he gets drunk and just does a live stream, and they're fabulous. They're some of the greatest things ever because it's just like, I want to talk to you about signage, or why are clouds not blue? They're wonderful. I love Drunk Hank Green.
Also, he's a fan of Drawfee and has recently been on one of their episodes.
Ah.
But I first ran across Hank Green on it was something Geek and Sundry channel was doing, and it was a role-playing game that Will Wheaton was running, and Hank Green was one of the players. And I was like, oh, this guy's hot.
Right? There's so many conspiracy theories about Hank Green. Like, oh my goodness.
hold on, we gotta make. No, not me.
Yes, you. All the you.
Roy.
Oh, Fluffy
Dog.
puppy.
Doge.
Oh, somebody knows they're on camera. Like, let me put my good side up.
Yes, my good boy.
Where are my lamb hearts, mother?
They're right here.
Treats. Where are the treats? All of the treats, mother.
Mommy.
Don't
Give
you
me
understand that a
snacks.
whole bag is one treat?
I need a snack. Oh,
I-
yes.
Who was the comedian that was talking about Thin Mints and was like, the serving size of Thin Mints is 3 cookies? 3 cookies? No, serving size of a Thin Mint
It's
is a
3
sleeve.
sleeves.
Right?
Especially now that they've gotten smaller. Like every time I get them, they're smaller and there's fewer cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried. I had to use all of my willpower, which is not a lot, to not go completely Karen on the Girl Scouts that we've been buying cookies from. Because, oh my God, what are you doing? You're taking all my money and you're giving me this? But it's fine. Go enjoy your little jamboree or whatever. It's fine.
haven't
When
bought-
we did Girl Scouts, we had our troop leader. She would take the money that was for Girl Scouts and take her family to Disneyland. Like, it was not. Apparently, there's like no oversight, so like you can use it for whatever. And yeah, it was. Once I found out about that, I was like, that is no wonder my mom hated Girl Scout cookie time.
I still admire the ones that were setting up in front of dispensaries.
Yes,
so smart.
smart.
Absolutely brilliant. It's like if anyone is going to want cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I just can't wait till it's normalized enough that they're actually selling edibles. If any of the scout, oh yeah, if any group's going to do it, it's going to be the Girl Scouts.
Girl Scout edible cookies.
First, they'll start with CBD cookies. Branch off from there. Then
Wait,
they'll
now-
actually have Girl Scout cookies with the Girl Scout weed in it.
CB, they might because they're actually bought from a couple different companies. So I know that Emmy did a video where she bought all the different brands that Girl Scouts get their cookies from and did a taste test because they're not the same from region to region,
Hmm.
which is really upsetting because we get the really crappy tag-alongs around here. I don't like it because those were my favorites. But you might actually get the brand because I do know Aldi carries quite a few of the Girl Scout brands, and they're a German company. And I believe they actually it's one of the few things they actually import into Europe.
And I know
How did I know that conversation would bring Eva like magically?
Keebler does a caramel coconut cookie that is on par, possibly better than the Caramel Delight / Samoas.
Ooh.
Why are all the planes?
I love Samoas.
Oh, they are the best ones.
So Saturday has turned into random cookie day at the house because we have a friend who's been coming
Thank
over.
you, Eva.
And he's a proper Southern gent who believes that you can't go to somebody's house without gifts. And his gifts are, guess what cookies I found? Because it's never what you expect.
When Bestie's oldest was in Girl Scouts, and it was cookie selling time, I would get a call. Auntie Carrie, will you please buy? And then she's like, they're only what, like $4.50 a box, and I'm like, put me down for 2 because I love you. Thank you, you're the best. I better be at this price.
But Thin Mints are so addictive. I'd pay almost anything for some.
I like the
I think they're over
tag-alongs.
$5 now because there was
Yeah.
a couple of girls up the road last year selling them, and they were sitting in front of their house on a Friday evening during Lent. It was fish fry. We were coming back from the fish fry, and they're sitting out in front of their house. And my mom's like, "Ooh, Girl Scouts!" So we bought like 5 boxes.
Nice.
In one of the many signs that I should have known that I was gay much younger than I knew, I didn't join any of the scouting groups because none of them felt fabulous enough. Like when I found out none of them taught dancing, like my mother really tried to get me into 4-H because apparently they teach square dancing, and I'm just like, mother, that's not real dancing. Like that was my line that I drew in the sand. Like, if you're not going to teach me to dance, why should I be there? I am a living stereotype.
I did scouts for a while. I remember being in Brownies, and the last year I was in it, my mom was the troop leader, and she got fed up with none of the parents like doing anything, or it was like babysitting hour.
Hmm.
They drop their girls off and do whatever, and then like none of the girls would want to do anything. None of the parents would participate in any of the events.
Oh,
Nobody would
man.
help with cookie time, and she's like, "I'm done." And that was right around and then right after that we moved in with my grandmother, so I changed schools and everything, and I got involved in other things.
Mhm. I used to be in Girl Scouts for most of my childhood. My mom was the Girl Scout leader, troop leader, or co-leader when she wasn't leader, which is part of the reason why she got so annoyed finding out about like the Girl Scout cookie thing, money. But it was it was fun, but it also my mother was there, so that caused problems because me and my mother, yeah, not a good history. But I really enjoyed Girl Scouts. Like we got to do a lot of fun things. Like one of the things we got to do was one of the trips we went on was sleeping in the mall overnight, and they would have, yeah, they it was this whole event, and they would shut down, the mall would be shut down, and the Girl Scouts would invade, and we'd bring our sleeping bags, and they'd have like a place to get your nails done, and food from the food court would be open, and like it was just a really fun, and the whole point was to like stay overnight and like stay awake as long as you can and just have a good time, and it was fun.
Yeah, I did a
enjoyed it.
couple of campouts, but that was like it. I think I did like one overnight camp, and then I did a couple weeks of a summer day camp, and that was the extent of it. And but now that and then when Boy Scouts started going co-ed, that was when, well, the boys were already in Boy Scouts, so then Kenzie wanted to join one of those troops in their area.
Mhm.
Finding one that accepted girls was tough, but she's like, they went to New York last year, and Bestie went with them, and they went like climbing mountains and jumping off waterfalls.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Don't
So-
go jumping waterfalls.
So a super goth ex of mine became the the troop leader for his son's Boy Scout troop, and so one year he completely world built this entire lost civilization. He conlanged a language for them and made like a Rosetta Stone and all this stuff, and then buried all of these artifacts in the field behind their house, and like left them there for months so the rain would like get rid of, and the growth would get rid of any signs of where he had dug the holes to put things in, and had them go out there and do this whole archaeological dig
Oh, that's fun.
Fun.
to put together the story of this lost civilization that he came up with. I was like,
Nice.
that is so you. Like,
But that's you too, Charlie.
oh yeah. Oh dear God, if I were allowed to have kids, like, so that's why it's illegal for queers to have kids in this state, because they know we would spoil them rotten and put all the straights to shame.
That tracks.
I've got my nieces and nephews.
Which reminds me, everybody vote.
Yes,
Yes.
vote.
I already did, but
So did I. I couldn't get my sticker off the little sheet. I was very upset. I wanted to wear my I voted sticker.
We're planning on doing that Tuesday, and I'm wondering how many violations of the law I will get to see this year. Because last year they let people actively campaign. The last election, in a major election in 2020, they were letting people actively campaign inside the polling center. They were loudly
no.
deriding certain candidates of the blue persuasion in there. The person running the ballot box actually asked to see my ballot, and I refused to give it to them before just feeding it into the machine.
Wow.
Yeah. And I contacted all of the groups that I could think of to let them know, and I don't think anything came of it, but
Hmm.
I live in a very, very red state, so yeah.
And yet, it's the blue states that everyone's accusing you of cheating.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's because they know that they're cheating, so they just assume that we must be cheating as well, because no way could we get the results
Because
that we get without
projection.
cheating.
The guy that I had to give my name to when they check the book to make sure that you're registered to vote, the guy at the table was wearing a Trump MAGA shirt,
Ugh.
which is illegal in our state.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do any electioneering.
Isn't that
it.
illegal in every state?
I don't know anymore. Like, I would assume so, but Arizona and Florida are what they are. So,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't
but that was even illegal in Arizona to do. Nobody did that in Arizona, and that's Arizona. Like,
I mean, the guy running for governor of Wisconsin said out loud on camera that if he's elected, he will make sure that a Democrat will never win in the state again.
ugh. Politics.
Which
They're
is
just trash.
just to explain why I'm doing one of the things I'm doing. So if you visited the Thursday stream, you noticed I was late because I am taking a course right now on how to actually teach active hope, which is hope that does not require optimism. It's how to actually find things that you want to accomplish and set up systems around you that you can actually achieve the things that you want to do without having to have optimism that you can actually do them. And I feel like, especially living where I live, such an important skill. Such a good thing to have. And I'm actually taking a course right now to teach me how to teach this skill to others.
Nice.
So
My dog is
that
snoring
Ohio's
again.
the same way. It has to be outside because I've done like I've helped some people out with like campaigning and stuff, and or for issues. When my dad worked for the community center in the town I grew up in, and yeah, you couldn't get within so many feet of the entrance of the building.
Yeah, that's the same way it is in Arizona and California. Is you have to be within, you can't be within like 50 feet of the building or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything like that would influence voting within that circle because that's super illegal.
So, Jenna, I didn't know you were in Maryland, and I don't think we're going out for February, but I think we're planning on being in the Baltimore area next July.
Ooh.
Smack my ex for me.
What's going on in July?
There's a convention out there that I have only missed a couple of in my life. I've been going to them since I was 11 years old.
Wow.
In Baltimore, Maryland. It's called Shore Leave. It takes place in Hunt Valley, which is just north of Baltimore, and which I do know is properly pronounced Balmer. And it's a lot of fun. And I would love to go to Otakon again. I have not been to Otakon in years because I live so far away. But I have a lot of friends that still go to Shore Leave. I am on the committee still that organizes the entire LGBTQ track for that convention. So, I mean, because I started it with He Who Shall Not Be Named because he knows what he did. And if he doesn't, dear God, I'm going to remind him to the day he dies. But yeah. So we might actually be able to meet up in July if you wanted, which would be like crazy cool. I will not be doing book promotion at that convention because I've been banned from doing that. But moral of the story, kids, when your first book comes out, don't have a fight with the president of the SFWA at a convention at the writer's breakfast. It's a great way to set your career up.
Sounds like it.
She was being a bitch. She was wrong. I was right. Her agent paid for my breakfast. But quite a few people have not forgiven me yet. And even though I ask to be in the writers' events every year, they generally forget to add me to the list. It's an oversight every year.
Forget. Giant air quotes. What if one year I sign up and then you just happen to be there to help me out?
Oh, I don't know that you would want to be associated with me there because, see, my name is so mud at this convention because not only did I do that, but because I started the LGBTQ track with He Who Should Not Be Named because he knows what he did. What he did was so egregious and so awful. I'm not going to tell the full story, but I will say it involved bursting into the middle of a funeral and making a scene.
Wow.
And that's the least bad part of it.
Oh.
Yeah, he knows what he did. And if he doesn't, I'm going to remind him until the day he dies. But because we were on this thing together, I got associated with him, even though he lives in New York and we're not close. Like, it was a professional relationship, not anything else. So there are many reasons they have not forgiven me, even though I had nothing to do with that. I didn't even know it happened.
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you. I should probably put well, I've got my link tree, so I'm gonna say I should probably put those links in the description, but my link tree has everything, so
But I can't wait till Carrie and Laura and everybody start going to the conventions and get on the circuit and realize that it's middle school all over again. Because I'm going to keep saying it until y'all experience it and go, oh crap.
I was homeschooled for 7th and 8th grade.
Me too.
So it's going to be a new experience for you. So basically, there's literally the cool kids table that you will have to bribe somebody or sleep with somebody to get into. And I'm not kidding about that. I wish I were, but I'm not. So don't, because they won't actually help you sell books. They're just snobs and they're awful. So find the weirdest people there and follow them around and sell hundreds of books and laugh at the pretentious people. Because that's how real conventions work. And if Peter J. Wex is at the convention that you're at, go wherever he is, because people are going to be whipped up into such a fury to buy books that they will accidentally buy yours by mistake. He's such a good carnival barker to sell books that if you're ever at a convention trying to sell books and you see Peter Wex there, find him, get as near as you can with him, and have a stack of your books and an ability to take credit cards. Because he can just start a feeding frenzy. Like, all the books must go! Like, he's really good at that.
Yes.
And he travels all over the country, so. And I think he's even going to Canadian ones now, Canadian conventions now. So even Laura might be able to run into him.
What you whining about, sir? Yes. Oh, you're so stinking cute.
I've been looking at occasionally checking out like Fan Expo, which is what Wizard World has. I guess it's not a thing anymore, so people still wanted to do conventions, and so the Cleveland one is in March. I don't think I will be able to have the money in my budget to buy the stock necessarily to attend.
Honestly, I have a friend who over the years has started, basically they've set up a BookFunnel account because a lot of people are wanting the ebook version, and prints up a bunch of business cards that have a promo code on it with BookFunnel.
Oh, that's clever.
Sells
Does that cost anything? BookFunnel?
BookFunnel does have a cost associated with it, but he basically sells the codes to get the books, and will sell, and also has book plates that if they want to sign, if they want something signed, he can sign a book plate that he got custom done up as well to have like book branding on it.
Oh, cool.
So people can
yeah, I did launch 2 books this year, Jennifer. I wasn't able to do a one for the one in August, but I've got here, I'll make myself big.
Yes.
I've got Misadventures of a Mom Author, which is my nonfiction memoir journal thing that I released. It's still ongoing on Vella. This is the first 50 episodes. And my plan is to do every 50 another volume.
And
So
because
it's
she's not
halfway through
promoting
volume.
it, it's also
Huh?
on her. And since you're not promoting it, it's also on her Ko-fi for people outside the United States that do not have access to Vella.
Oh yes, that too. I gotta update that. I think I'm a couple behind on the Ko-fi one, and then my contemporary fantasy This is the first in the series that I've been working on forever. And Charlie did this beautiful image, and Jace was my developmental editor. And yeah.
Nice.
Although, if you guys want to plug your stuff too, like, go ahead.
I have nothing to plug.
Stuff is thoroughly unpluggable. Do you like chaos? Do you like random BS? Do you want to know what happens when you take a silly, stupid idea way too seriously? I have a novella out. It's called The Santa Closet. It's about Santa Claus, who used to be Odin, and his weird cadre of exes, which include both Loki and Krampus.
Excellent.
My horror collection, Tiny Shivers, comes out next year. Currently with a copy editor. I don't know what date yet. It's coming out.
But soon we shall be able to own it and consume it and
Have all the
everything
nightmares.
else. Yes.
I feel like when Tiny Shivers comes out, Laura's not going to know what to do with herself. It has been so all-consuming for so long.
Only 2 years.
Like, we don't talk about the post-book hangover of like, wow, I did a thing. I don't have to do that anymore. Wait, what? What?
What do I do with myself now?
Now what?
I
Teddy
have so
Shivers
many
2!
projects. I just dive into the next one.
Yes, but you will notice a weird extension of your free time. And your brain going, well, I don't have to think about that anymore, except for marketing.
Wow, my wallet is lighter.
The true story of the author's journey. I did all this work and have so much less money now.
Yay.
Enjoy!
This copy editing is a chunk of change, man. But I did get a little grant from the Ladies of Horror Fiction.
Nice.
So that's covering a third of it. So
Oh,
that's
that's
nice.
awesome.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't think it's this Monday. I think it's next Monday. We're going to be on Glory's channel talking about the actual business of writing and understanding how to calculate your ROI, your return on investment, and other things like that that authors should know about,
Mhm.
but we don't talk about because
Are you
There's a
reading
lot
it
of-
right now, Jenna?
wonderful creativities.
Are you
I'm
one of the
assuming
two
my-
people that bought it, or is it? Are you reading it through KU?
I was just assuming this book is going to be a net loss for me, but it's more of a vanity project of here,
There's a gremlin.
my
at my
work.
Well, if you need any marketing advice, I'm sure I can offer some advice. I'm not very familiar with book selling, but I'm familiar with selling, which is kind of similar for
It's very similar.
all
Yeah.
things.
The biggest thing that people actually get lost on when doing that stuff that I will be bringing up a lot is spending marketing money in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Because most of the things that actually get you readers don't cost you money,
Mhm.
with the exception of Amazon ads, which are a pain in the butt and are all about trial and error because they keep changing their system. So do not believe anybody that's like, here's how Amazon ads work. That was true when that book was published, probably, but probably not now.
Mhm. Ooh, crack.
Yeah, I do like social media promo, and that's like it.
Mhm.
I've distanced myself from Twitter. I would do like when somebody would be like, "Hey, hashtag writers lift" or whatever. I would
Hmm.
throw my links in, but I'm distancing myself from Twitter. I've been doing daily updates on my nano progress on TikTok, and I've got like 70 people following me on TikTok now after not even a week.
Nice.
I don't know what to do with TikTok.
I don't want to get TikTok. I'm resisting it, but
I've
It's
resisted
hard.
it for so long.
I feel like I'm just going to turn TikTok into my new Twitter since I am trying to get back on social media and just like all the stray ideas, just record a quick video and hit publish and be like, I don't care anymore. Like,
I just hate making videos.
I
do too.
I miss being able to do regular-ish vlogs because I was having fun with that on my YouTube channel, but somebody wears me out a lot.
What's Joe?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
The
not Joe,
combination of that just
the little minion who was knocking on my door just now.
the legend of Topless Joe.
Oh, but you have to do it with the deep voice. The Legend of Topless Joe.
Sit down, children, and let me tell you the wonderful story of Topless Joe.
That was almost a year ago, wasn't it? That clip.
The most amazing thing about Topless Joe is that somehow Joe's tatas can sense whether or not Glory is in the room. And if Glory is in the room, they run and they hide behind all manner of fabric and conveyance. Does your husband realize he has lore? Like, should we keep that a secret from him? And CB, you do not have to have a phone. You can use TikTok from your laptop.
Good to know.
Jenna, you overachiever.
And yes, that is still one of my absolute favorite shorts of. Oh, hello there. Y'all getting me in trouble.
You've done that yourself.
The best part of it was your reaction. He couldn't hear me, or he couldn't hear what was going on. I was muted, and I'm just cackling. Like, what's so funny? And I'm like, let's just say people like what they see. And he's like, with a single sheet of paper.
So modest.
See, we talk about which one's who's pure and who's the dirty ones, but there's only one channel you can get topless male entertainment.
I mean, that reminds me, I need to like message Jonathan and be like, can you like dance in the background on my streams for me so I can make some money? I'll split it with you. Probably say yes.
I'll pay you in the potatoes I cook.
I actually like Jonathan, so no, I wouldn't do that.
Jenna says that is what the O and O'Malley stands for, don't you know? Overachiever. So, Charlie, when I went to go take the dogs out, I told Sean about your little secret, and so we might be coming to visit you.
She doesn't know if they're actually going to be able to come out, but she really wants them to. She bought tickets for the gala.
Oh, nice.
So, because she comes to the restaurant quite often, but she's trying to get them to come with her. And I was like, wow, the gala will actually be a freaking gala then. I did tell Brian, this means you have to buy me a dress now.
Of course. Yes. That makes perfect sense.
Fabulous.
You have to, of course.
I could do my best Mrs. Claus drag. That'll be fine. I totally won't get shot walking from the car to the restaurant. This is called embracing the darkness, kids. It's how we get through in these lives.
Eva says, now I'm back with food. How's the launch going? Anything you learned between the first one and the second one?
It was only a couple months in between, but I did not use Ingram Spark. For the fantasy, it's Amazon only, or at least for right now. Because I'm getting like nothing from Ingram Spark. I'm not seeing any reads. Also, how to get the information of if your book has been purchased or anything is really complicated on Ingram Spark.
Good to know.
I have really mixed feelings because I took all my books wide about 3 years ago in hopes that, I could find more readers in other places that were not Amazon. And what I have learned over the years is I only make money at Amazon.
Well, I've heard that that fantasy does really well on KU and Amazon.
Really good.
So that that's why I kept this Amazon only, at least for the time being. Nonfiction, I was trying to spread it out a little more.
Yeah, once all the contracts are expired and everything's pulled back, all my stuff's probably going to go back on KU because I was making pretty good money off of KU. Romance
Jennifer is awesome.
over there.
Yes.
Thank
I wish I
you.
had Kindle Prime or not Kindle Prime, but Amazon Prime so that I could get Kindle Unlimited and read
Actually,
all
you
the
can
stuff.
just do Kindle Unlimited on its own now. I think is it like $8 a month?
I still need to get a job in order to afford that, but hopefully tomorrow I will be employed.
I'm hoping next year I can start paying for Audible again because I miss listening to audiobooks.
Oh my goodness, their originals have been insane. There's a thriller that they're doing called, I think it's called Relic. Let me look it up real quick. It stars Kerry Washington, and it's so good. It is a supernatural thriller.
But I would have to have it on my tablet because I have no room on this piece of crap, and it's also dying. So
I listened to too
I
many.
deleted a couple apps to make room for TikTok, and I still have your phone is dangerously low on space.
That's my phone right now. Let me see if I can show.
I got a 128 gig micro SD so I could put the pictures on there.
Storage space running out.
And I've deleted apps, and something is on my phone. I don't know, that's taking up all this space. I've unfollowed. I freed up a bunch of space unfollowing podcasts that I don't listen to on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
That actually freed up a bunch of space. I unfollowed a bunch of playlists that other people have created that were taking up space in my library.
I'm sorry, it's called The Prophecy. The book I was talking about. And it's an Audible exclusive story, and
Does
You feel
Audible
like-
exclusive mean there's no paperback, or just that's the only place you can get audio?
It's actually for some of them it's exclusive. There's my favorite modern fantasy book that I've read recently. The entire series is exclusive through Audible because they paid the writer and it went straight from him to a group of readers and up on the site. And it's the Pillars of Reality books. They're so good. He just started the second series in that setting where we're finding out what happens after the spoilers. Oh, those books are so good. They're so good.
If you like thrillers, I still have to recommend The Other Rembrandt by Alex Connor. It's an art thriller, and it is so good. It's so like intense. My heart was racing for most of the book because it was just like, what's gonna happen next? But so good. Highly recommend. I just tweeted about it today because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I need someone to read it so I can talk about it with you because it's so good.
So
She has an entire series of art thrillers, and oh my god, they're amazing. All of them.
actually that book has gone to being for a credit, so it may be wide now. So if you haven't read The Dragons of Dorcastle by Jack Campbell, that entire series is so good. So good. I love his space opera books. And when I found out he was writing an epic fantasy series, I was like, wait, what now? And yes, please.
Yeah. Does he use the Libby app? Because I do that on my tablet all the time. And then I forget that I borrowed books, and then 3 weeks are up, and I go to look at it, and it's not there anymore.
But I just noticed it's not in the Plus catalog anymore and has an actual company name listed on it. So that series may have gone wide. Because he may have just had a exclusivity window with them. But they're so good. I want to be a Rook Rider. I want to be a Rock Rider. So bad.
Eva's husband is the errand running human in the house. I'm the errand runner. Well, we kind of share that responsibility. I am also the minion taxi cab. Since my
John
other
is
job
definitely the errand runner in my family.
yeah, since my other job is so limited with in when I work intentionally, so I can be the taxi cab. But I take her to school, I pick her up from school, we go to speech therapy, we go to doctor's appointments.
Just wait until she starts a sport or like a hobby of some sort.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
just
yeah,
because
Bessie's already like, start looking into scouting in your area, and I'm like, no, but
Horseback
they don't
riding.
kids under 5.
And just because I can't let it go and I want to talk to people about this series, it is now available in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. So
Ooh.
it's very steampunky, magic-y goodness.
Nice.
Yeah, my sister's 4-year-old did soccer. I think it was only for a couple of weeks. I played soccer in kindergarten, and that was the year I got pneumonia right after my sister was born.
Oh no. I played all the sports. Not that I wanted to, but my parents thought it was good for me. But I liked solo sports, where you don't have to play on a team. Like tennis and figure skating and, other sports like that. Can't really think of any off the top of my head.
All right. Happy writing, Jennifer. Thank you.
I'm gonna skedaddle so I can eat lunch, and then I'm on Shannon's. But
Okay.
Penny, what is this taking care of yourself?
I know
How
it's
dare
a
you?
bulgogi beef bowl.
Ooh.
I'm so excited. It's in my fridge. But congratulations, Carrie.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness.
Avalanche.
Oh no.
Okay. It's fine. We're all good. Yeah. Congratulations. Awesome sauce. See you later.
Bye.
I'd ordered myself some Chinese for dinner tonight, but the interest kicked in on my credit card, and I'm over limit now.
Oh no. Darn credit cards.
And I have like $3 in my bank account.
Mm.
I have no idea what we're doing today because if the friend shows up at the house, he and Brian generally just go to the grocery store and pick up something random, and Brian makes it.
Nice.
So,
Oh, excuse me. Oh wow, 5 already.
Ugh.
I feel like he was just 3 not that long ago.
About 2 years.
My sister goes in this week to have number 3.
Oh man. It's gonna be a loud house.
Yeah. A 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. And 2 cats and a dog.
Oh my.
So an update on that weird story about my cousin who decided to hell with this and delivered her own child in a bathtub.
Oh yeah, tell me more.
Apparently, she decided that since a hurricane might be about to approach, kind of, sort of, maybe that's why just be the badass. And I was like, so did the hurricane hit where she was? And like, no, it missed them completely. I'm like, so, but what? Like, I could understand, like, it's hurricane and stuff outside, and you're like, I could get swept off the road. I'm going to save the baby. Like, that gives it, like, a weird heroic quality. But no, just like, I don't know, it might rain. I'll just take care of this myself. Like, that's not as, it's not hero-y.
That's just Daria.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take care of this myself. Another show that they need to redo.
Hmm.
I would love to see what Zoomer Daria would look like.
Yeah.
Oh man. That would be interesting.
Because I can tell you she'd probably be a bit angrier. And I really want Daria's TikTok account.
And everyone posting on Twitter how political the show is. And it's like, did you watch the first one?
Right? Did you watch the
Ever?
original? Like, every time I hear somebody complaining about Star Trek's political nature, I'm just like, do you know who Gene Roddenberry is? Like,
And
do
the
you know
answer is
anything about
probably
the show?
no.
Like, it has been very political since its beginning. Like, he fought with the network because they thought it was crazy that he wanted to have people that were not white on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, it's the future. We'll be
I
past all
saw
this nonsense.
something on, it was probably Facebook, about like people who complain about like the wokeness or whatever and political nature of shows are realizing that they are the bad guys portrayed in
Mhm.
those
Yeah.
shows, and
Mhm.
they're having a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because I think the only time I've ever complained about politics in my media is when Zack Snyder made the Watchmen movie, and he got so confused that he turned the racist terrorist Rorschach into the hero of the movie. And I'm like, there are no heroes. That's the whole point of the book. There are no heroes.
Mhm.
Like, everybody's the bad guy. Everybody. And it just like felt like he hadn't read the book. He just looked at the pretty pictures.
Oh yeah, go get food, CB.
Yes, eat food.
Well, life is political. Just
Mhm.
existing.
Hmm.
Like they say, it's a privilege to not think about politics because it means that you're not being necessarily directly affected by these decisions
Yep.
in a way that you would recognize it. It's all political. Ooh, leftover Domino's pizza.
Mm.
Oh, pizza sounds so good.
I had pizza for lunch.
I wish we had a good
I
pizza
had
place
like
in
a
town.
cheapy one of those like $1.50 pizzas yesterday. When Joe and Anna went to his parents. But maybe if he comes in here, I'll be like, "Can we get Little Caesars?"
I have found out that the Little Caesars on the other side of town from me is absolute garbage. And when my family that lives on that side of the town are like, yeah, Little Caesars pizza is gross. I finally tried the one on their side of town, and I'm just like, ugh, what are they doing here? This is nasty.
Tough fitting.
I think there's something in their pans or something, or in their oven.
There,
Ugh.
the one closest to me is the only one I've seen with a drive-up window in like my area. The next closest one I've seen with a drive-up window is where Basti lives in Sandusky.
Mm.
They're few and far between, but they are hella convenient. And the only complaint I've ever had about them is
Nessie, don't lick your
they don't always like press down and cut when they're slicing up the pizza.
All the way
Mhm.
through.
Yeah. And then there was the one time when I went and got, because we just get the hot and ready. We get one plain and one pepperoni. And I was really wanting a pepperoni pizza, and they gave me 2 plain. And I'm like,
Oh,
I want my meat.
Give me that sauce.
and there was the one time they didn't give me my garlic butter, and I turned around and went back. That was like,
We learned a disastrous truth on my husband's birthday. Our favorite cake shop in town now has a drive-through.
oh,
It's drive-through cake. You can drive up and get a cake. You don't even have to leave your car. You can just pull in and be like, "I would like this cake, please," and they
that's the
shoot
life.
out the window in exchange for money. That is dangerous knowledge to have because it's on his way home from work. He has to pass
Oh,
it. So he could stop anytime he wants and just get cake.
nice.
Really, really yummy cake.
Eve was talking about the lunch special for students from Little Caesars. When I was in college, you know the hot and ready? They
Yeah.
had that on Wednesdays, but for $3 on campus.
Oh, that's a good price.
$3 for a pretty hefty 8 slices of pizza.
Nice.
mhm. Also, the like obsessive perfectionist in Joe, when they do cut the pizzas at the one by us, they're not always even. So you get slices that are like this big and then this big.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ah! Like his detail-oriented brain just cannot handle it.
That's why when we make pizza, I have to cut it because I'm the only one who knows how to cut pizza, apparently. Got to make sure it's all proportional.
Maybe the next time,
Proportionate.
well, just going grocery shopping tomorrow. Maybe I'll ask him if he can put some frozen pizza dough on the list, and we'll make turnovers one day this week.
Ooh, yummy.
I don't think the pizza sauce in the fridge is good anymore because it's been a long time since we've used it. But I like making homemade turnovers, and I've gotten I've really started liking turkey pepperoni.
Oh.
The taste is very similar, and it's got like a third of the salt.
That's
So,
good.
since salt is one of my big triggers for my RA,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I don't notice a difference in the taste, and my knee doesn't look like a watermelon at the end of the night.
Oh. Eva says the neighbor's grandkid is visiting, so my kid is having a blast. We crafted today, went to the library to get some library books and shop at the book sale. It's been a nice weekend. Sounds fantastic. I love going to the library. It's like one of my favorite places in the world. I have 2 library cards because one we got from Comic-Con. Sean got from Comic-Con. And then this is the plain one from the library.
Mm-hmm.
And now I need to
I
get
was
my
trying to
library
find
card now that I have an ID and like mail that I can prove that I live here.
I have to find my keys because I need the house key for my mom's house because she's going to be staying over my sister's when she goes into the hospital Wednesday to watch the other 2 kids, and she wanted me to stop by her house and take the dog out a couple times. And so she said she has a spare if I need it, but I want to try and find my house key. So I know what I'll be doing Monday, definitely, if not tomorrow.
CB says I go to the library on Tuesdays and Wednesday, but I don't take books out. And Eva says I just found my library card. The husband always does the checking out while I randomly walk around looking at books I have no intention of reading.
The kid checks out books. We're practicing that some books don't stay here. He's resistant.
Oh. Yeah, that's a hard lesson to learn. I had to learn that lesson too. I was very...
Anna already has a very extensive library because when we had her baby shower, in lieu of cards, we asked for books and then people signed them. So she's already got a huge library. And what do? We read the same like 3 or 4 books every night.
That's funny.
Thank you. It's like it's I do bedtime on Tuesday nights because that's when Joe has bowling, and she picks out she wants to read There's a Dragon in Your Book, and then her Counting Down the Stars It's a glow in the dark book, and there's stars and dragon, and I'm like, don't you want to read like this one? No, dragon, dragon book.
Relatable.
Eva says, "Me want to go to the library? Kid, no. Me, why not? Kid, I don't know. Me, come on, it'll be fun. Get dressed. Kid, why? Me, I mean the big library, not the home library. Kid, ooh, yay."
Yeah, they pop out a bit, and it each page it's like a sheep is making a wish on the star, and then
Aw,
you count down, and it's really cute. And the stars on the page glow in the dark.
aw,
So I'll hold it under the light a little bit, and then turn off the lamp, and you can see it glow. And
nice.
yeah, yeah. And it helps her counting because each page she has to count all of the stars.
Nice.
So that was one of the things her teacher commented on with at conferences yesterday. She's like, she's really good at counting to 10. I'm like, yeah, we kind of do it every single night.
That's cute.
One of the way too many projects that I have right now is I'm trying to do the illustrations for a friend of mine's children's book.
Ooh, fun.
And I'm still trying to decide on what the art style should look like. Because
What's the book about, like, generally?
basically it's a curious little spider discovers the world
Aw,
kind of a story. It's really
that sounds adorable.
it's a really cute story, and I'm trying
Like
to figure
Lucas
out.
the Spider? Did you ever
Little
see
bit.
those animations?
A little bit.
One of the
Eva
few-
says this child is going to like science and math in ways that exhaust my brain. CB says we put the library books on top of the bookshelf when I was young, and then when I was a little bit older, the library books lived on the stairs. And that's a smart way to not lose them.
Yeah, if Anna becomes a numbers kid, I'm there's gonna come a point I'm not gonna be able to help her with homework. Because math was not my strong subject in school.
Yeah.
Neither was science. And I might have to like find a tutor for her.
Isn't that one of the things that Joe is for? Because architects should be good at math.
Well, yeah.
Luckily, they learn it's such a, a nice graduated level that you can like learn as you go, like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what that meant. And but of course when they get to high school, then it's like, you're on your own, kiddo.
Yeah, I started having problems once you worked in shapes and numbers with math.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
Algebra and geometry, no.
A squared plus
looking
b squared
at-
equals c squared.
Elementary and middle school homework, math homework these days. I was always really good at math, and I look at what they're doing and I'm just like, what the hell kind of system are they using? This makes no sense.
Oh,
So it really doesn't matter if you're good or bad because they've changed the rules.
mm,
Word problems also trip me up
Oh,
in
yeah.
school. That was the big thing in elementary school that I always had problems with.
me too. I hated word problems so much.
I'm just being really quiet because I was the math geek in school. So
I was too.
I mean, I was good at math, but I have no idea how I like did it. Like, it doesn't click in my brain. I think because I have dyscalculia or whatever, however it's
Mhm.
pronounced, and so numbers, they don't like, I can't make concrete sense out of them, and but I can follow directions really well.
Yeah, my mom would tease me a little bit because she loved math in school. And when I would, cry about doing homework and stuff, and she's like, "How are you, my kid?" I'm like,
Yeah,
I
my
don't
mom was
know.
like,
I read physics papers periodically just to look at the pretty math.
that is unusual, but
There have been times where Brian has caught me reading a physics paper and gone, "Oh, you're reading your naughty books again." I'm like, "Yeah."
See, I got into the kinematics part of physics, but that didn't deal with a lot of differential equations because that's where I fall off.
Mm.
As the actual calculus of it.
One of
'Cause-
the many life paths that I thought about following was to go on to be a particle physicist. Then I got married to Chaos Demon, and well, I'm here now.
No,
Growing
but
up, continue.
for me, the calculus that I was in was an honors calculus, and it was like honors calculus 1. So
Mhm.
instead of learning calculus, they were trying to prove it to us and do all this other stuff, and it made no sense because I wasn't learning it like normal people learn things. It's not a good thing to use as an introduction to the field.
Yeah,
Mm.
no. that is not the best way to introduce the idea at all.
So I never actually learned it, and yet I passed the class with a B.
Yep. My mom was like really good at math, and my dad was really good at history and English. So like I always had at least one parent who was good at the whatever I was doing, except for science. Science was kind of complicated for, like, no one really got into science. but they were always like, if I had problems with it, they'd be like, "I don't understand how you aren't getting this." And I'm like, "I don't know. It's just not clicking in my brain."
Languages were another thing that were hard for me. I took 3 years of Spanish,
Mm.
D's all the way through.
I
I would
I'm-
study until my brain hurt, and just I couldn't. It would not compute in my head. Like, I don't know.
Mhm. I feel like I cheated at Spanish because growing up in California, you get so exposed to it. Like, it's everywhere here. And so it almost feels like cheating because like if I had taken French, I would not have done as well as I did in Spanish. But it also helped that my grandma married a man from Mexico, and so he only spoke Spanish. He didn't really speak any English. I don't honestly know how that relationship worked because she didn't speak any Spanish, and but
You
he
know
helped me
exactly
I hate
study.
to tell you, but I know how that relationship worked. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I unfortunately know too, but honestly though, like that was such a messed up relationship.
I don't think I've ever made Megan blush before. Is this an achievement unlocked?
I
that what
don't know. I'm not quite blushing. Like
Yeah,
it's
you
just warm in here.
Your skin did change color slightly.
Maybe a little bit.
Now I have a new life goal.
Yes, Latin American and Mexican Spanish is very different to European Spanish.
Yeah.
So my poor husband learned Spanish when he was in high school and was not aware of the fact that his Spanish teacher was from Colombia. So he learned Colombian Spanish, which apparently is not looked upon highly by a lot of Spanish speakers, especially Mexican Spanish speakers. And he wondered why they always called him a redneck. And apparently that's because he speaks Colombian Spanish. Kind of
That's funny. Eva's like, could just go Avatar, Megan.
So would his autobiography be like The Accidental Cholo?
Yes.
Oh,
What was that?
I don't know.
Sounded like a tree branch breaking.
It did.
When my grandfather passed away, we ran into my high school Spanish teacher at the funeral home.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go see what that was.
Okay.
And my mom's best friend also had this woman as her teacher because we went to she was at the same high school. And the teacher remembered both of us. Well, I had only been out of school for like 7 years at that point, but but she remembered my mom's friend, and she's like, "How do you know each other?" And we explained, and my mom's friend was like, "You were the only class I got a D in," because languages were not my thing, and I'm like, "Yes, this is why we are friends." Yet another reason why we are friends. And she's like, I remember getting my report card and my mother coming in and going, "You got a D in Spanish," and then walking out. And she had another friend over, and her friend was like, "That's it?" And she's like, That's all I need to know. That's all she had to do, is just that voice, the look on her face, and I know I'm in deep.
Yeah, well, with 3 years, especially, was it high school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had 3 years of high school French, and I couldn't, even getting A's in it back then, I could not hold a conversation now. But every once in a while, a thought will come across completely in French. Just random, sentence in my head.
Thank you, Eva.
Bye, Eva.
Bye.
Happy writing.
Yes.
I want more coffee, but Joe's busy. I'm going to text him.
Excuse me, kind sir. Could you please bring me some coffee?
Well, and we did make a fresh pot before I came in here, so sweetie with 7 E's.
But yeah, I would say that being in a place with a lot of Spanish speakers, it's not cheating Spanish class, it is doing a lot of extra credit work.
Yeah.
So basically, you were just going above and beyond with your studying.
That sounds like me. Honestly. I was always a bit extra. I used to listen to music in Spanish just to practice my Spanish better. And I would learn words from the songs, and in class they'd be like, "So what is your favorite word?" And I'd shoot out this random obscure word, and they'd be like, "Wow." I'm so impressed. I'm like, yeah. I enjoyed showing off, and I was one of those kids who like did
Yeah,
really
see
well
me,
at
he's right down the
everything.
hall. I text him for stuff all the time.
See, I don't speak Spanish, but I listen to Spanish music because Ricky Martin and Carlos Ponce were hot,
Mhm.
and I liked their voices, and I really didn't care what the words were.
I was listening to like Enrique Iglesias.
Yeah, him too.
Oh,
Yeah. His like his songs are all pretty raunchy.
That's the
if
night.
my grandmother had still been living when Ricky Martin finally officially came out, she would have been so devastated.
Hold
She
on,
was
airplane.
in love with him.
What was that?
I said if my grandmother had been still living when Ricky Martin officially finally came out, even though we all knew for years, she would have been so upset.
Oh, my Spanish teacher was in love with Ricky Martin. Like she had a picture of him in her on her desk because she loved him that much, and we would sing to Ricky Martin songs, and like it was she was kind of heartbroken, but she's like, but I still love him.
It was like all the teenage girls in the 80s and 90s that were like, I'm going to marry George Michael. Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
No, no, you're not. Oh, now car alarm has gone off because the plane made it.
Oh, the plane shook it because that plane was
Mhm.
close to the ground. Do you live like in an airport?
I live right next to an airfield, and it's the kind of airfield that the military sometimes uses to. So that was probably a military plane going overhead because it was that loud. So it's kind of an inconvenient location, but it is what it is.
That's when you go to the airport and you're just
Oh,
like,
here's
really?
another one. Hold on.
That was obnoxious.
Yeah. Or if I was interested in a subject and I would hyper focus on it and not my schoolwork.
That was me as a kid. That and reading, I got in trouble so often for reading. I was once grounded from reading for 2 years because I read too much, and my mom's like, "You're not allowed to read," and I still read. She couldn't get books away from me if she tried. And she did try. She
Are
wanted
there?
me to be a normal child.
Is that something that any parents would do these days because it's so hard to get kids to read now?
I mean, even back then, it was like difficult to get kids to read, and I was like a voracious reader. And all the other parents were like, I would never like take away reading for my kid if they would just read. And my mom was like, you don't know how bad it is. Like, you can't get her to do chores, you can't get her to do her homework. She just reads and reads and reads. But I was very smart. And that's how I got away with it.
So the answer is gunshots.
Oh,
Still going on.
what?
So I don't know what's going on.
That's bizarre.
Why are people shooting up in your neighborhood?
Why are people?
Yeah.
Crack. Crack. Oops.
Gym class.
I definitely don't miss
The bane of my
like
existence.
school. Although I would like to finish college, but school, like high school and middle school, and elementary school, I do not miss one bit.
CB's talking about gym class. I didn't enjoy gym class until high school. The teacher I had was really cool, and as long as you made an effort, you were fine. Like, you did not have to be the star athlete
Hmm.
every class. And
I have never
yeah,
had a
and that
good
was when I
PE
started having
experience.
like some of my health
Me
problems. Like,
neither.
I just had been diagnosed with my hypothyroidism, and
Mhm.
when I started that medication, I started retaining water and my feet would swell up, and it was very hard for me to do anything. So we were like, I actually, like, my mom came up to the school with me and met with him and was like, so this is the situation. And he's like, it's okay. Like, if you're having a hard day, you can't get your shoes on, whatever, don't worry about it. Just when you can, you make an effort. And I'm like, thank you. You're wonderful. And I had him for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
We only did gym for 9th and 10th grade.
I only had to take 2 gym classes. There were only 2 gym requirements, and one of them was just a basic requirement for everyone, which is a lifetime fitness thing, which was just learning about nutrition and exercise and shit. And so that's one where it's more learning about how to take care of your body.
Mhm.
Health class, basically.
But we also had health.
Oh,
The other one was some sort of like a Lifetime Sports or something. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically all the any type of sport that was not typical, not your big sports. So we did like ping pong and
Hmm.
pickleball and stuff like that.
In 10th grade, we did a couple weeks where we did tennis.
Hmm.
And we weren't far from the community center, so we actually, like, there were a couple days where we walked up to the tennis courts and actually played, and we learned all the rules and everything. And then it was a couple weeks of golf. So we had to get permission slips to go to the driving range
Mm.
for a couple classes. And then bowling. And we actually, like, had to learn how to hand score.
Oh, man.
And we went to a bowling alley and they turned off the automatic scorers and we had to write everything, like, by hand.
By hand. Wow.
Well, my family did that just in general. We went bowling on Saturdays for years. So we actually had averages and everything, but that was my family. But anyway, when I'm thinking about gym and PE classes, I'm thinking things that were pretty benign and not a problem, because like even in the sports one, it was, yeah, you just have to learn how it works and participate. You don't have to be good. You just have to try it.
Mhm.
The
I
only thing I
remember
didn't
in
have.
Oh, I was gonna say, I remember in high school I was really good at badminton. Like, we played badminton a lot, and because I was also really good at tennis, so it kind of translates. But my team and we totally dominated everyone else. Like, no one could beat us. It was a lot of fun, and most of the time we were just like shooting the shit. And oh, sorry, but uh just having a good time, but no one could beat us and everyone else was frustrated. I just loved it.
The only sport that I did not have to play, and was for 2 reasons, was dodgeball. I didn't want my glasses to get broken, so I would take them off, and I couldn't see shit.
Oh.
And I had a couple bullies in the class who were targeting me.
Ooh.
And the teacher picked up on it real quick and was like, hey, for your safety, sit out.
Yeah.
Also, you assholes, knock it the hell off. But I ran into my old gym teacher before I left my retail job. So this was like 5 years ago now. And he stopped teaching at that high school. I think he left right after my sister graduated. And he was teaching down around Akron, and he was also the track coach. And he's like, I'm still coaching, but I'm not running with my students as much because my knees are shot.
hmm
I'm like, yeah, that happens. And also, he adopted a couple of his students because they were in very toxic family situations.
hmm
And when I was telling this story to some of my former classmates when we had our reunion, and there was one girl who was a teacher down in Florida, and she's like, you'd be surprised how often that happens.
I mean, there's got to be at least one in every class group. I mean, just statistically, it
Mhm.
just makes sense, which is terrible, but
And also that stupid presidential fitness test.
oh god, I hate it.
Hated that thing. Hated that thing.
That's a way to make you feel inferior.
Who can run a mile in under 10 minutes? Like,
Not me.
not
Athletes.
me.
I could, but only because I would like push myself to the breaking point practically on that one day only. The rest of the time, I was like, nope, you can't make me do that.
Nope.
That was the one good thing about hurting my leg when I was 16 is I had a doctor's note, so I didn't have to do that because I'm not
Nice.
supposed to run at all.
Yeah. The pull-ups, I have never had strength in my arms. So I would grab hold of the bar and just try to pull my fat backside up. Like, no, that was not going to happen. In high school, I was
Yeah,
already
no.
almost 200 pounds. That wasn't happening.
I think the most I could ever do in my life was 5.
Yeah, I've never been able to
Sit-ups?
do one.
Sit-ups, I was okay. I could do sit-ups. Where you had to like reach forward as far as you could. I've got long legs, and I couldn't do it without bending my knees. Yeah, the mile was. I think I did okay on like the sprinting one. Because
Mhm.
short bursts of endurance, I'm okay at.
My mother was convinced that one day I would have to pull myself up from something because I was dangling and would fall to my death. And so I had to learn how to do pull-ups.
Oh no.
She was very convinced of this. And I don't know what kind of life she thought I was going to lead, but I think there may have been a Dr. No in it.
Do do boom boom do do boom boom.
I don't know how many jobs would or lifestyles in general would put you into a place because, like, I definitely was not going to be rock climbing. Like, that is
Actually, I
not-
think that's why I could get up to 5 is because I was a tree climber.
I was a tree climber too until I hurt my knees and, well, I wasn't able to give myself the leverage I used to.
Hmm.
I miss being in the tops of trees.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think I have a picture on my other Facebook account of me climbing a tree at my high school graduation. It was like a really tall tree, and I was in a dress, of course, but it was a fun uh, party that I went to for my high school graduation. And for some reason, I was climbing a tree, but I love climbing trees.
When we lived
I've
in
never
Texas,
climbed a tree either, CB.
there were two persimmon trees at the entrance to the trailer park we lived in. And my friend James and I picked a tree and would just get up in the morning and go out, zoom up the tops of the trees, and sit there yelling back and forth at each other, talking while eating fresh persimmons off of those trees.
Nice. We had it was more like a bush, but it was like sort of a tree. It was in between a tree and a bush. And I would climb up it and I would just sit there with my pad of paper and I would write up in the tree. And that is where I would do all my writing and stuff. And I would just have a grand old time sitting in a tree by myself.
I feel like I became a writer because I hurt my legs. Because prior to that, we were running around either playing when I was a kid, or by the time I hurt my legs, I was already doing a lot of LARPing, where my imagination was able to come out in a more physical way, and not being able to move around as much. It's like I still have all the ideas. They got to go somewhere. I guess I'll write a book.
Yeah, no, I was born to be a writer. Like it was from the time I learned about books, I knew that I wanted to be a writer, which like I've known about books like my entire life, but I've always wanted to be a writer.
I kind of
Remember,
did, but I never really did it
Hmm.
that much until then.
my sister would get mad at me when we were playing with our dolls because I would take over the story and tell her what to say, and that would lead to a fight.
Oh my goodness, my friend Paul.
One of us would leave the room crying.
My friend Paul and I, between us, had like all the Transformers, and we would like, if we had access to a camera, we probably would have made all of these insane stop motion movies. But we basically just talked through it and moved everything into place and then explained what was going on. And then moved everything into place and explained what was going on. And I'm getting really tired at all those gunshots over there.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, there's another two.
Yeah.
What are they doing over there? What requires that much shooting?
Are they doing like target practice?
I don't know, but I live out in the county, and it's the Wild West out here.
Like if it's target practice, I would be like, okay, whatever. They're, just practicing their aim.
But between my PTSD and my poor doggy who's freaking out and whose medicine hasn't kicked in yet.
Oh no. Poor baby.
I gave her a chill out med.
And here I was worried the wind blowing outside my window was bothering people.
Oh, there's going to be fireworks where CB is tonight. Why? What are they doing fireworks for? What day is it?
The 5th of November.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh man, that means Sean is going to watch that annoying movie that I don't like.
I love V for Vendetta.
Ugh.
Oh, so it is.
Probably because he likes it so much is why I don't like it. It's one of those like.
I was like, what? The only British holiday I know of is Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
It is that. Okay. When you
Yeah.
said V for Vendetta, it's like, oh.
Yeah,
That's
CB
today.
said bonfire night. And it's already, like 9 o'clock there? Because I think she's 5 hours ahead of me. Yeah, Jason and I are Eastern time zone, so I think she's 5 hours ahead.
Mhm.
Mm.
Calm down.
Although I think tonight
Oh, there was a time change last week for them.
there's a time change
Ah.
tonight for us.
Yeah. Okay, so then it'll go back to 5 hours.
I just remembered that when you said that. It's like, oh wait, that's tonight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
here
Joe was like, make sure you change your clocks. I'm like, all of my clocks are automatic. I
Yeah.
got my phone, I got my computer, and my tablet. Like, we don't have that many manual clocks around here.
and besides, fall is the one. Fall back is the easier one to do because you get an extra hour.
Not if you have kids. She's just confused for a couple of days.
Jesus.
Damn.
Welcome to my life.
That's just bizarre. I don't understand the attraction of the firearms. I've gone shooting with my dad before, which was kind of fun, but still I think that's more like an event you go do, not something you like base your identity on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were, see, I get it in a sense, like in the, like I said, if they're doing target practice, then I understand it, like in a sporting sort of way, because it's like, you know, if it were me, I would rather like learn archery, but
I have a my cousin's cousin who I'm not directly related to. She's actually an Olympic sharpshooter, and
cool.
that is the only like valid thing in my opinion for like sport wise.
There was an archery range at the Ohio Renaissance Fair this year, and of course, we had to do that. And last year when we went to the Great Lakes one, I did terrible. Like, I don't know what I was doing. At the time I didn't know what I was doing. That my arrow was just going shaboom. Like it was going nowhere. And I'm like, I know it's been a while since I took archery in college.
Yeah, Brian
Hot
has
damn.
college credit in archery.
So this year there was actually a guy working on the range that would like come and help you. And he's like, so I'm getting my thing ready. And he's like, put your arrow on the other side of the bow. And I'm like, oh, that's what I did wrong last year. And it was so much better. I was actually hitting the target.
Nice. I loved archery when we had this thing called dirt camp, and basically it was just a camp outside in the national forest, and the whole point was to get as dirty as possible, basically like playing in the dirt. And one of the things they had was archery and shooting, and I was so good at it. It was so much fun. I loved it. I really wish I had been able to like do more of it, but there was like dry waterfall climbing. Like once the waterfall had dried up, we got to like climb up the rocks there and do all sorts of stuff. It was such a fun camp, and you just be covered in, because the dirt in is very like unique over there. It's very I don't know how to describe it, but it has a weird taste to it, and it just gets in your mouth and in your nose, and I don't know. When I talk to my best friend who's also from where I grew up, when we sometimes talk about the dirt and how there's no dirt like the dirt you can find in where I grew up, and I don't know. I forgot where I was going with this.
So I think what we're coming to a consensus on is hitting things from a distance is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stress relieving too.
Hmm.
I miss
That's what I
playing
would
darts.
love. I loved it when I took that class in college. If I was having a bad day, it's like target practice, stress relief. Now I know why my dad liked to go to the shooting range.
I miss
Oh my
playing
gosh,
darts.
the
I
last
might have to
time
put
we
another
went,
dartboard.
I just
the last,
realized
oh,
we were talking about another sport that is the same concept, hitting things from a distance, bowling.
I miss
yeah,
bowling.
I kind of miss working at the bowling alley because it was a kind of a fun job, just watching everyone bowl all day long, and I really enjoyed watching everyone who's going on dates bowling because sometimes people get really competitive and it does not, like, the date ends up badly, or like sometimes they get really into it and they come back every week and they like it's really cute. But that was I always enjoyed watching people who were on dates go bowling because yeah, especially if the girl would do really well and the guy was like, "Oh my gosh, my manliness cannot handle this."
we did we did a couples league, a couple for, well, I'll say 2 seasons, but it was, for me it was more like 1.5, because that the second year I got pregnant with Anna and it became very difficult and very exhausting
Mm.
as the season went on. But I still have the printout of my highest score. I got a 133,
Oh, nice.
and my average was like 85, I think.
Well, I can say mine, but keep in mind, like I said, my family went every Saturday for years on end, and we basically did our own league thing. So um, my highest was in the 180s, and
Okay.
my average was it ended up at like 160.
Nice.
That's about what Joe's is, and he's on a league on Tuesdays. And they play 3 games, and if he has like a at least 500 total, he's a happy camper. Or around there. So
I don't think I've been bowling since the Goth Bowling League that I was in fell apart. And I really liked the lanes that we went to because after they realized that, like, every Thursday, all of the Goths in the county showed up in their finest leather regalia and spikes and makeup and stuff, they like started playing along and like installed like lights that they could change so there would be purple and orange lights on the alleys, and like they they just rolled with it because they're like, wow, our busiest night of the week is when the freaks come in. Let's just go with it. And then they started asking us, like, what kind of music do you listen to? Because I hear you guys talking about bands a lot. And they actually stocked one of the jukeboxes with nothing but goth bands. So we even had our music pumping over the speakers because we basically took over the bowling alley. It was great. Loved it.
I was starting to say the last time my dad went to a shooting range, he was so proud of his target. Like, he brought the paper home that had, and all of the cluster was right here. And he, of course, he was showing the sons-in-law, like, look how well I did. And he's like, I may not be able to hear worth a damn anymore, but I could still see. And they're like, okay, we are still scared of you. Mission accomplished. My sister and I knew the subtext of remember this if you ever decide to screw with my daughters.
Sasha, I love you, and I know that you're still half freaking out because it's only half kicked in for you. But I don't want to look like a road map in the morning.
Aw.
There are so many weird sounds coming from my apartment today. Like, it just sounded like there was water in the walls, but I think it's the neighbors. I don't know. The neighbors make so much noise. And, like, sometimes it sounds like they run on the walls, and I don't know how they do that. But they must be children, and they must, like, just run on the walls. Like, just they must have like anti-gravity properties or something, and they just like because that's the only logical explanation for the noises I hear.
Your neighbor, can you please do something about your anti-gravity children?
I have been so tempted to send them a message being like, could you please around, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., could you tell your anti-gravity children to just chill?
I would be fine right now, but every time I get her calmed down, they start shooting again.
Oh man. People.
Children behave.
Well, I was thinking we go till half past, and then Megan has time to join Glory. I might hop over there too after a break,
Mhm.
and because
That
that'll
could
bring
work.
us to 3.5 hours.
I don't know when they're gonna be arriving because I just got all of the texts from Brian about what I wanted for food tonight, and
Mhm.
apparently he's gonna make hoagies. So
Oh.
why don't you just shoot yourself and get it over with? Sorry. It's very hard controlling your PTSD when you have PTSD from gunshots because, my life's fun. But I can't afford to freak out because the dog's already freaking out and it'll just make her worse.
What are they doing?
I don't know, but the fun thing is usually when this happens in a little bit, we hear an ambulance because they do end up
Shooting themselves.
yes,
Oh,
because they're bad at it. So
wow.
expect sirens in the not too distant future.
It'll be funny when we hear it.
I laugh.
But Joe didn't respond to my text message, so I am gonna have to go get myself some more coffee. Even though I put 8 E's in sweetie and please.
And luckily, I went and got myself a coffee before all this nonsense started.
Also, I was just trying to get him in here.
He was supposed to make an appearance. Like, what happened to that?
You forgot to tell him it's for book sales.
Edie, could you dance behind me so I could sell some books?
This is my husband, Fabio.
Uh, so there is a couple that really like my books and I think have weird thoughts and designs on both me and my husband because the last few years when I went out to on the convention circuit, they showed up and he started wearing a kilt and Captain Morganing right in front of me. And then
Wow.
his wife started sitting on my, asking if she could sit on my knee. And, I don't care. I'm one of those people. I'm fine with it. And I'm just like, as long as I get a show, honey, you can sit wherever you want. Like, it's fine. But, weird things happen when you tour on a book. I have known them forever. And, I don't mind a good man in a kilt. Calm down. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yes, it is. You can call me a liar all you want to, but have I lied to you so far? It's always been fine.
If only logic worked with dogs.
I know, but sometimes the soft voices do help. Because they pick up on your tone.
I wish I could get my mic close enough to Nessie so you could hear her little snores because they are just so adorable. I can't handle it.
It was funny on Thursday. I don't care if Anna takes a nap on Thursdays because she doesn't have school Friday. She can stay up later. And Thursdays are also really busy. So I picked her up from school and then we ran a couple errands and we went to get Chipotle for lunch, which she loves now. Like, I said, do you want to go get a quesadilla? Yeah, quesadilla, quesadilla. And so we got our lunch and then we went to speech and we were coming home and I called Joe on the way home because I hadn't talked to him all day. And I'm watching her in the mirror and she's just very slowly going, and then she was just out. And it was so funny because I went to get her out of her car seat and she's in her little yellow raincoat and one side was just wet from where she had her head down and she was just drooling in her sleep. And I'm like, okay, thank goodness for that raincoat. Serving a new purpose.
I used to be really good at sleeping with my eyes open. Because I would
give me nightmares.
I would get so bored in school, and it worked fine in middle school because I actually had to get out of jail free pass because the school I went to had this wonderful gifted and talented program where as long as I kept an A average, I did not have to go to class.
Oh, that would be nice. I
So,
wish
yeah.
my school could do
Yeah,
that.
I had to do a project for each quarter. So when I wasn't in class, I was expected to be working on my project, which means I had my own desk in the library with a computer that I could use and all that stuff. It was great. Like, it's a really smart thing to do. Ignited my love of learning. But in high school, they did not have that. So I just learned how to sit there and sleep with my eyes open. And apparently nobody realized I was doing that until one day I had a nightmare.
Oh, no.
And that's when they found out.
See, I snore too much.
Me too.
I'm a horrendous snorer.
Don't tell Sean
if I'm
I'm
overtired, I will still snore with my CPAP. Hi, Kat. We're going for a few more minutes.
Hi, Cat.
Because then whoever wants to go, because I know Jason's going to get ready to wind down for the day, probably, and
Most likely.
whoever wants to go over to Glory's can have a little bit of a break. Speaking of, I just got the StreamYard invite.
Yes, so did I.
So, yeah, we've just been chatting and
Trying to calm my dog down.
yeah,
Yes.
poor Bobby.
Poor baby.
You know you can calm down now. They haven't done it in a while. Should at least save your freakouts for when they're necessary.
You know what I would love to be able to do? I would love to be able to run a creative writing program for, like, middle schoolers, young high schoolers, that actually encourages creativity and enjoying writing as
Yeah.
opposed to book learning.
When I was in high school, we had a writers group that one of the teachers, who basically was a fanfic writer, was the what's the word? Monitor? I don't. The official adult in the room that made it okay for us to be doing a thing on school time. And that was so much fun because all of us who wanted to be writers would show up and we would do these quick writing exercises and then read our work, and we would work on longer projects and share. And it was kind of basically just a critique group. But because it was a sanctioned school activity, which meant that our meeting would be scheduled basically during the supervising teacher's free period, and then we would all get to go out of get to leave class and go there and have like this amazing experience of like, yes, words are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't English class be like this when it's not one of the two?
I think one thing that makes reading hard to be enjoyable in school is being forced to find like the symbolism in things and analyzing it. Like, why did the writer make the curtains blue? Maybe they just fucking like the color blue.
Well, see, that's the problem. Is it's so bogged down in structuralism and post-structuralism, which honestly, if you've been keeping up with literary theory, are so like out of date concepts. Like even Derrida, who came up with a lot of that structuralism stuff, decided, maybe it's just capitalism. It's fine. And moved on and completely critiqued all of his own early works. And that's where post-structuralism came from. And we've moved on even from that. But we're not updating. Most, especially American education, is trapped in this weird 19th century modernist mode that what isn't evolving from. And you can see the fight that happens every time there's an attempt to move forward. Every time there's an attempt to get, maybe we should teach the actual history of the country. Maybe we should, actually teach people science. Because we have this error that we have perpetrated in our country and around the world, that knowledge is a fixed point, and it's not. It's a probabilistic, what we think we know now, and that will always be refined, and it will always be changed, and it will always develop with time. And yes, there might be a reason for all of that. If you read James Joyce, he knew that all that structuralism stuff was happening and intentionally wrote stuff to drive them mad. Which is why his books are some of my favorite books ever written, because they are specifically written to defy a structuralist reading. Like, that's why Ulysses is famous, because everyone has tried to do a structuralist reading of this book that isn't even a book. There's a chapter in there that's a stage play. There's a chapter in there that's a musical. Because it will not stay in the same genre. Parts of it are poetry, parts of it are stream of consciousness, parts of it are stories that are completely unrelated to the rest of it. Because he just wanted to see pretentious literary snobs try to tease out the meaning of the nonsense that he wrote.
So he was the Joker.
Oh yeah, he's very much is the Joker of the literary world. And it's a wonderful book. If you've never tried to read Ulysses, do not try to understand Ulysses. It is not meant to be understood. That's the point of the book. But it is hilarious because every time you're like, oh, I think I get it, you turn to the next chapter, and it's basically everything you know is wrong. Everything that I just told you is crap. Oh, by the way, that character's been dead the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you think there was a ghost here? Are you crazy? And then a couple chapters later, it's like, oh God, there are ghosts here. And like, it's nonsense to be nonsense. And yes, we need more of that. Break down all of this bullshit.
So I was just going through my yearbook trying to find the picture of me in my writing club but the picture was too small. I wouldn't be able to share it, unfortunately. But I forgot my hair was like a part blonde, part brunette, and I loved the writing club. That was the first time I had done NaNoWriMo for the first time. Because my school, my teacher was like, have you heard of this thing called Nano? And taught us all about it. And it was so much fun. We had worksheets on.
Was Danny DeVito your teacher?
No.
Oh, dude, can you imagine? Okay, new sitcom idea. Danny DeVito teaches a group of high schoolers how to write their dream novel. Go!
I want to watch that so bad.
And Rhea Perlman can be in it, and she can play like a beat up, grizzled old gym teacher. Yes, I need this. I need this bad. How do we make this happen? Lottery ticket.
Oh, Danny DeVito.
I gotta see if it's still on Netflix. I was watching. I think they've added a couple more seasons since I watched the first one. One of my favorite comedians, Gabriel Iglesias, has a show on Netflix where he's a history teacher.
Oh yeah,
And
I've seen
so
clips of
good.
it.
It's like so cute and wholesome, and he drags a Volkswagen bus.
I want a Volkswagen bus. I probably wouldn't fit inside, but it would be wonderful to have.
So I think I'm going to head out a little bit early so that I can get out of my pajamas for Glory's it is self-care Saturday.
Yeah, I was about to say, what are you doing? It's self-care
But I'm
Saturday.
going to get out of this warm Illuminati hoodie, I guess you could call it.
If anything, you should put on more pajamas.
See, because if I put I have to take this off. But if I put the hoodie up, I look like I'm in the Illuminati.
Yeah? I need a purple hoodie. Hey, Sasha, how do we go find a fuzzy purple hoodie?
It was at where did we get this? This was at a Costco, actually, I think. They had it on sale for the winter time. So it's about time for it to come back into the stores. So I'll see you guys later. Congrats on the book launch.
Yeah, I guess it's about time to wrap up, and I can go yell at my husband for disappointing everybody.
I don't know. I did get to see his beautiful what the fuck face, which was everything that I wanted and more. I just try to be very careful because I don't want him to hate me. Despise me a little bit, that's fine. But I don't want to engender like pure hatred.
I mean, when Megan asked that question, I was laughing because I know it wasn't serious, and he's like,
That what the fuck face was so good. Like that should be a meme. Like it was so classic, it made me sit back and go, beans. Okay, the beans may have broken the doggy. She's looking at me now like, are you okay?
Okay, well,
Well, I know the Halloween episode of As Luck Would Have It is up on Sako's channel.
Woohoo!
So if anyone wants to see that, it's there.
I just had to resubscribe to her because YouTube decided that I should not be subscribed to any of her channels. Which is your regular, like, daily warning. If you haven't seen videos from somebody in a while and you're like, I wonder why I haven't seen videos from them for a while, make sure YouTube didn't unsubscribe you.
yeah.
I think I'm up to 15 channels that I thought had just stopped making videos that didn't.
Yeah, I just had to resubscribe to her witches one, but that's, I mean, she wasn't putting stuff up there for a while, but I find that stuff interesting. So,
I am thinking of pitching a intro to Magic's class, like how to find your path, how to do all that stuff. So we'll see. I did get asked the other day if I would ever offer a class on the Kuredum Shi, because a lot of people have questions about the fairies, the fairy faith. So that might be a thing in the future for me.
and how to make an oracle deck, because I want to make an oracle deck to go along with my fantasy adventure.
I have had a lot of people ask for that, and I think that could be a fun workshop to do. Because I love mine. I am changing at least one of the images because I wasn't entirely thrilled with it to begin with, and I've already done a different version of it. But it is freaky having a professionally made version, which by the way costs about $30 some to get just one. Because the more you buy, the less they are per thing, which is why we're doing a Kickstarter for them. But I was also surprised how inexpensive it was to get just one really nicely made deck. So if you just wanted one for yourself, I was expecting it to cost a lot more because they don't have setup fees or any of that. The company that I used, I really like the cards, and it's been insane every day pulling a deck and then having this moment of like, oh, I like that picture. Oh crap, wait, I did that. Is this a vanity? Did I just do a vein?
No, I think if it's your own, if it's something that you crafted, it's not a vanity.
I'm not used to enjoying the stuff I do as much as I have been lately, and I've been having all of the like, is this a vanity? Did I do a vein? Have I crossed over? Is this what self-esteem feels like?
Well, it is self-esteem.
Is this what I've been missing all these years? It's weird.
But enjoying your own work, looking at something you made and saying, I like this, is never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's possible to make a deck even just using clip art and stuff that you find from Canva or something like that. Because the first one that I ever made, I decoupaged onto a cheap deck of cards that I made with pictures that I collaged from magazines.
Yeah, that's probably be how things would start, but I gotta figure out like what the images would be, figure out the meanings, how they connect to the story, the setting.
I would like to do something like that, and if you wanted to send me like a series of questions to help me know what other people's anybody, not just Carrie, that would be interested in that, send me a list of questions so I can like put it together like a curriculum for an actual like workshop. Because yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to do.
And would it be like separate if you're using it like as a book kind of a thing, or as opposed to personal use? Or
I don't think so, because like this one that I made, this is a very personal deck, and that's one of the reasons why I was surprised that so many people resonated with it, because the imagery in it is very idiosyncratic. It's very much like stuff from my own experience in life and whatnot. And I I don't I the biggest thing is if you're doing an oracle deck or a tarot deck, whether or not you're connecting to a tradition or not. That's the biggest question, because like if you wanted to make a tarot deck based on your book, then that's a lot of different questions, like, well, which character actually fits the cards best? What scene of the story actually fits this card, or what have you?
this would be more something that like the characters are using. Like I would want to incorporate this into the book series at some point.
Oh yeah, that would be a lot of fun to do, because I have studied tarot for
Kind of like
over at Cat's Age.
let me see if I could. Ugh. There goes my makeup wipes. But like the Taroka deck from D&D.
Oh yeah.
This is actually implemented in gameplay. So
Oh yeah, it would be really easy to do, and we could actually do several different versions of the workshop for something like that, which is a creative but also useful endeavor, and also like mine, which was like connect with who you really are and actually find some meaning in your life for the first time in 45 years. This could be the same path for some people, but and that would give me an excuse to do what I've wanted to do for a while, because there is actually a specific style of tarot deck that's used in my Dragons of Night book. And that would give me an excuse to, well, I guess I have to do the exercises with everybody else so I can show examples. So I guess I would have to make that tarot deck. Oh, darn. Shucks. Dragons and fairies and giants, oh my.
Oh, my brain just wrote a scene with a character like myself. Like, oh, what's your favorite card? The Hangman. You mean the Hanged Man? I said what I said.
Oh. It disappeared in the third Great Pilfering, but a tarot deck like that does exist. And I got it for my 22nd birthday. I don't know. I'm sure even more exists now. When I say there's a tarot for everybody, oh, honey. There is a tarot for everybody.
all right.
On that note,
I do want to go over to Glory's on Twitch, so and we'll be chatting backstage for a while longer, probably.
Probably.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And if you are interested in getting my books, the link tree is down below with all of the things. And yeah, let's hope there's more to come. Bye.
bye.
Bye.